first.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get that sweat off.
Right. I do have more than one connection, and I feel like at this point, Hussein and I have grown very strong, so that's why I chose him for this.
As far as you guys like relationship, what was the factor that?
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Listen, we're back. We're ready to love. Crazy. I didn't even know. I can't lie to you. We're back, bro. I didn't think I was gonna make it. Never would have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But we're back, okay? And listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've lost a bit of love for Ready to Love. Y'all took too long. I can't lie to you. You took too long, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm dedicated to the cause. You feel me? So let me have a real conversation about this situation. I think this episode, do you know what is interesting about Ready to Love? What's really got my thing tingling is that next week, the men are meeting, the women are meeting the ladies, the women are meeting the men's friends. And I think we've said this before. Why the hell are they meeting two sets of people? Why is it that women are meeting men's friends, but men's are only meeting women's exes? I don't get this. I've never understood this thing, but this is even more glaring now. Now they took an actual break. It's a real conversation. Why the hell are they meeting two sets of people? Why aren't the ladies meeting the exes of the men? And then why aren't the men meeting the friends of the ladies? I don't get it. Why we're doing a difference? Why have we made such a distinction between the two? It makes no sense. But we are here. We've got to talk about some real things and talk about the relationship and talk about some couple things on this episode. Because again, I think with this situation, there was a couple of things I wanted to mention about some of the exes. Now, Angie mentioned something really interesting, and I'll probably do a video about this tomorrow. She has so much hyper independence that at one point she went to the hospital whilst pregnant by herself. She did not want her man to drive her. Now, we can say about the fact that maybe the man wasn't being a leader very much, wasn't being a leader enough or whatever. But what we do know is that in that situation, she decided to drive herself to the hospital. So there was no teamwork, but you're still friends with him. So clearly he wasn't a bad person. Angie just needs to release the reins of being a leader in the relationship to a point where it becomes detrimental, right? And then she decided also that she wasn't going to allow Cam to meet her ex. Wait, well, hold on. Why is Cam not meeting your ex? And I said to myself, is it a production issue? Was it 2 different days? And they're trying to make a storyline out of this? Because it might have been that as well. Because the way she apologized, it didn't feel like she intentionally didn't try to do it. Even though she said, even though she said that I wasn't trying to make you feel some type of way, I felt like maybe production played a little bit of a role here, rather than Angie just not letting him see the ex. Reason being because, again, there was no explanation behind why she didn't do it. And that kind of makes me feel like production got involved and did this. You know what I mean? Like, why is she not explaining what happened? Anyway, next couple, obviously, we got obviously as well, Angie. No, we done Angie and Cam. Jay and Kiara. That's what I'm going to focus on the most. I'm sorry. The Kiara situation. The Kiara situation is absolutely crazy, bro. The Kiara situation is crazy, bro. What do you mean to tell me that you've known her since she was 9 years old? You kept a tab on her when she got to of age, which was 9 years later. When it got to of age, then you went to date her. She was a good servant, but now she's changed. You mean basically she no longer basically adheres to your control. And then we're gonna talk about the fact that you want to be friends with her, but you still like her. Now, Kiara got to take some accountability too, because why the frick is he still your friend? Like, you told us that in that situation, that he still liked you. You've been telling him you've been saying you have to put him in his place. So if you've been putting him in his place, I don't know why he's still in that situation. Talk about that another time. Then we had Chenise and Cisco as well. Chenise tried to pull a fast one with Cisco, and Cisco said, "Don't you dare." Chenise was like, she cute. And Cisco was like, "Let me just remind you who I really like," which should let you know that nobody really got 2 people in mind. Like, there aren't really 2 people in a race. I keep saying this to people. Like, if you feel like there's 2 people in a race, it's probably, if you feel like there's 2 people in a race, probably isn't. Unless you're smashing, then it's probably not 2. It's probably someone else. Just want to be honest with you. You know what I mean? If you're smashing, it's probably a different story. But in this situation, like, he knew who he wanted. Taye. Right? It was always going to be Taye. And the moment she messed up and made a mistake, she won. She lost, sorry. And then he let her know kindly, yeah, don't do that. She's beautiful. And then she told us as well that she felt like she was emotionally drifting from him. And I was like, what conversation did you have with Cisco to let him know that you're emotionally drifting? What's the actual issue? Are you pissed off at the fact that he chose Taye over you? What is the real issue, Chenise? And of course, if you don't know, Chenise also went out. Okay, all right. You know what I mean? That's very true. Another round. That's very true. It's a race because there's two people in it, but one's winning. You're right. You're right. I was wrong. I see you. You're right. Cam and Sahara, obviously, she said her ex that would come in. She couldn't bring her ex because really and truly, her ex in the situation was toxic, and so she couldn't actually bring the ex. Sorry, not ex toxic. Her ex passed away, and I was like, oh, that's so sad, you know. But again, this comes back to the whole point: why are we meeting exes and not friends? Why are we meeting exes and not friends? We should be meeting friends because they're still in their life now. You know what I mean? But yeah, Cam and Sahara had a conversation. You know, he felt bad because there was no one there for her. And I was like, Cam, feel bad for her for what? Her ex is not meant to be there for her anyway, Cam. Her ex is not meant to be there for her. Okay? So, you know, I hear it. And then we had Rose, Hussein, and Cam. Now, they both said the exact same thing. They felt like Rose is too perfect. And even her ex made her out to be too perfect as well. And I said, oh, okay, this could be something to look at, something deeper to go over, something more to be pressed in about, right? Because why is Rose presenting as a perfect ex? Yeah, I would be feeling some type of way too, because I'm like, whenever you start presenting that you've never done anything wrong, they never thought that anything can change, anything can be done better, I'm going to be a little bit concerned because why are you lying to me? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're lying to me. So I get that in essence as well. Okay, and then there was Taye, and there was Khalil, and Cisco. Now, it's interesting that Cisco picked up that Taye was more facing her body language towards Khalil, and that he started to see that there was a little bit of a shift from Taye as well in regards to her feelings and who she was choosing. So that's interesting as well. You know, it's interesting to see that particular aspect and see how there's been a bit of a change and a shift. It's good to see. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. That's all I'd say. And then we had Diona, Khalil, and Naim. Diona, Khalil, and Naim. Now, I'm going to say this now. Diona, those pants, those trousers with the bum slits, you know, sis, I just need us to, you know, I just want to just, sis, come on now. I'm seeing slits in the bum. I'm like, oh, baby, this is sewed up. Let's just sew that up. I don't want to see too much of them skins. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Can I get to the yams? And that note was off, but don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying, Chew? I'm still practicing. You know, but the yams were out, bro. The yams were out, and I was like, sis, please leave the slit eyes alone at the bum cheeks. Okay, all right. I just need. You know, let's leave the bum cheek. You know, and Diona knows I love her too. You know, she knows I love her. She's still my my queen, man. The baddest bee around. Okay, so and then obviously their conversation they spoke about they didn't really speak about much, actually, to be fair. She just spoke about how she cuts people off. She said obviously basically that she will keep things inside and then it will blow up and then she'll be done, which is what I've kind of said to you earlier on the season, that people who are like Diona tend to keep things inside. They lock them up, store them up, and then they feel resentful and they cut you off, you know, when they really should be having a conversation and communicating with you as well. So listen, that's my points there. Let's get a little bit deeper into this, because I think we definitely have to look into some of this stuff that was happening, because you know, I think you know, this episode, the main part that really, like I said, threw me off was Kiara and her ex, and it was just a manic thing situation, bro, because I just don't understand why an ex first and foremost is your friend like that. Now, maybe I should put a poll in here. Can exes be your friend? I just want to know. Can exes be your friend? Okay. All right. I just want to ask that question. Can your ex be your friend? After you smashed, I'm not talking about the fact that you just been friends. After you've been smashed in 100, can the ex be your friend? Okay. If you've been hunching, can that ex be your friend? I want to know. I'm going to put a little you know, I'll put a little something in there for you as well. But I want to know, can you be in a relationship and still have a friend who's an ex? Can you be friends with an ex who you were sleeping with, in a relationship with, and I can't spell, or cool with, or yeah, let me put this. I'll put that way. You know, I'll put a yes or no. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna add any action because some of you are gonna say it depends. I don't want to hear depends. I want to know straight answers. Okay? I don't want to hear depends. I want to hear straight answers. Some of you are gonna tell me it depends. I don't want to hear depends. Okay, I want to know straight. Do you think you can be with friends of your ex in that regard? Okay, all right, in that particular perspective. You know what I'm saying to you? Because me personally, I just want to say this first and foremost, yeah. Before no, don't say that. Let me just be honest. I think, right, that you can be cool, but I think the word friend is where I find it a little bit ditch. Like I'm not cool with my exes like that to say per se to go and call them up or anything like that, which I'm saying to you. But I don't need to be talking to my exes. I just don't see what the point is. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, what is the point? Why have I got an ex in my life that I can call? Are you not married? Are you not in a relationship? Do you not have another man? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, broski, I don't need anything. Like, you are with someone else. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay. So for me personally, I don't need you to be in my life like that, my guy. I'm sorry. You're too close for comfort. I've moved on. I'm no longer in that sphere. You know what I'm saying to you? I don't even follow my exes on even in social. I don't even follow them on social media. I don't want to know what you do. I don't care. Okay, I'm focused on me. I'm focused on moving forward. Okay, and potentially getting another ex. All right. So you know, no, I'm joking. But you know, like I'm focused on going forward. So I'm not trying to look back. You know what I'm saying to you? I can't say any of my exes have sent me a message in the last few weeks to kind of see, you know, what's going on with me and hey, big friend. No, if they do be watching what I do, maybe they do. I don't know, but I don't know because they're not messaging me to tell me, hey, I'm just thinking about you. There is none of that. Because when they're done, I'm sure they're done, and when I'm done, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Just you, Jay. You know what I mean? So like for me personally, I'm like, no, there's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to talk about, blood. We don't need to be in each other's vicinity and space. You know what I'm saying to you? You know, we have to bring back those panels again, those conversational panels. We need to start bringing them back again where we get to have real conversations as well. So we'll definitely be talking about that. I see Jay's there. We're waiting for big boy Sean to come through as well. And he's going to come in a minute too. Okay, let's just look at this little clip, and I'm going to get Jay in as well. As well. Because, you know, we have to have this conversation.
So today I'm in Kiara X. My strategy is to go in there, hear the guy out, and really dissect the information I get.
Hey. I don't know how you, bro, Jay.
I'll make sure it aligns with what she's telling.
Okay, so so I haven't said anything. So the whole thing is obviously that the initial conversation is going to happen, right? We know that obviously they're meant to be friends. They dated, I think, for a brief time. It was very brief. He said that he liked her, whatever, yama. And that's why I was like, okay, cool. So we know that obviously that they're meant to be cool. Now let's just find a bit more.
Telling me, and is it suitable for something I want to go forward with?
Hey, how you?
I'm interested to see what type of guys Kiara is into. He could be a clown, he could be a goofy, you know what I mean? Or he could be like me, a thoroughbred.
Now I ain't gonna lie to you, Kiara's looking sweet. The little black, the brown on brown was working for me. The brown on the brown, the light brown with the dark brown was working for me. I said, baby girl, you looking good. Come on now, give it to them. You know what I'm saying? She was feeling the pros, feeling the style. I said, all right, cool. I rocks with it. You know what I mean? I thought it was cool. Now, of course, we need to get into the story of obviously the ex and talking about their particular relationship because it was wilder than a hat of beans.
Opportunity presented itself once she became of age. I hopped on that joint.
She had a crush on you, and she was little, but y'all 9 years apart. So she was 9, you was 18. So the math wasn't mathing for me. So
now we have to be very honest. I don't want to call the man out, but we got to call the man out. The girl was 9. You said she was crushing on you. And then it's not even that. He said he waited. No, can we deep this? No, can we deep this? He said he waited till she was of age. We have to be honest about it. It does give scary vibes. It does give Peter vibes. It does give creepy vibes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it does. You know, because you're saying you were waiting. That what?
Tell me about yourself, man. Like, what you think the connection is between you and?
In fact, let me even go. I think I missed it.
When we were younger, she had a little crush on
Me,
Hold on.
that for sure. So yeah, bro. So what happened between y'all two?
All right, so long story longer. When we were younger, she had a little crush on me, right?
So we're gonna start from here, okay? Because he's gonna talk about how he was younger. You know what I mean? Like they start when they're younger. All right, cool. Listen, we understand that some people meet people when they're younger. I'm not gonna be mad at that. You know what I mean? It's the terminology that's for me. It's a terminology. The terminology is really important as well, right?
Now, of course, she was a couple years younger than my younger sister, so there's no moves to be made at that time.
Right.
So I always kept my eye on her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I always kept my eye on her. I always kept my eye on her as nasty work. We gotta be real. I can't say anything else apart from I didn't want to even admit that, but it's nasty work. I had to keep my eye on her means you were waiting for the time to elapse for her to get to an age where she's grown. You got me saying, broski. Broski, that's wild to the dunya. Can't lie.
when the opportunity presented itself, once she became of age, I hopped on that joint.
She had a crush on you, and she was.
Listen to what he said. He said, when opportunity came, when opportunity presented itself, I hopped on it, which means you've been waiting. Because even that language, I hopped on it, means I've been waiting. And I couldn't wait for the moment to pass. I jumped. Now listen, he might not have done anything inappropriate when she was underage. He might not have done. But right now, the language is giving you done some. I'm not saying you did anything, but I'm definitely saying that you was around and way too close and way too in her face for the age length. That's crazy work, bro. You know what I mean? I can't accuse you of you doing anything, but I can say that the language you're using is telling me, broski, you might have been involved in a little grooming. And even me saying a little grooming is even me underplaying the language, and I shouldn't do that. It sounds like you were involved in grooming. It sounds like you were involved in grooming to be a predator for this young lady, right? And even the language after is still concerning.
Little, but y'all 9 years apart. So she was 9, you was 18. So the math wasn't mathing for me.
So tell me about yourself, man. Like, what you think the connection is between you and? Kid? Oh, you smiling.
His relationship is giving me that he was somebody who probably was someone who was controlling this young lady for a long time. Because ain't no way. I also want to, but then again, I don't know if they actually properly ever did anything, because he said it was like a short date, and it wasn't like that she didn't necessarily date properly. You know, as well, because obviously then she had an ex as well that she had a situation with, who had a boxing glove situation as well. So I don't know how the timelines are looking. But again, like I said, this don't sound good, bro. It just don't sound good.
I'm gonna tell you a little bit, but I want to hear from you for sure, because you giving me the insight that I never knew. As you've seen it though, she a beautiful person. As you know, she got the swag. I love the bougie.
That bougie stuff is what it is.
What makes you?
So yeah, for me personally, I was looking at like, yo, sis, you need to get him out of there. He does not need to be around you. He does not need to be around you. Listen, if that gentleman wants to talk about it, we can definitely talk about it. I have no problem if he was ever to come and contact me. We can definitely have a live, because we need to discuss these kind of things. That, bro, clear your name, because right now it's looking real predatory. Can't lie to you. 9 years old, you 18, you talking about you was waiting for the moment she matured. Broski.
Rub you the wrong way about the bougie thing. So I feel like being bougie is a mindset.
You're talking about somebody that knew her before she even knew that word. She was a humble little servant
I
in
was never
church.
given humble.
Yeah. You was. She was a humble. She was a humble person.
I was
Yeah.
Now he might have been throwing a little bit of a joke and a laugh in there, but yeah, it's not. It's a humble servant is crazy work too. Humble servant is crazy work too. The language is very, very concerning. It is belittling, but it's also at the same time almost like you're underneath my thumb. I think he had a level of control over her, being that she was young, impressionable when they got together, and then when she finally broke ranks and finally got a mind for herself, he probably felt some type of way about it. Because there ain't no way. That's crazy.
Servant is trash.
Serving of church.
I was definitely into church.
Church. That makes sense. Okay.
You had these values, and then there was a time where it just kind of like faded away. What are you trying?
Yeah, Jay ain't impressed. Jay was not impressed. I can see that too. All right, cool. Listen, let me get Jay up on here as well because it's, we're going to talk about this, but this is concerning, bro. I can't lie to you. So, yeah, I can't lie to you. It's nasty work, bro. You know what I mean? Like when I watched, I was like, what the hell? Anyway, let me get Jay up. Hello, Jay. Why are you looking at that for?
I'm trying to get my mic unmuted. That's why I'm just.
That's like, okay, babe. You're good.
It's been a delay. Is my thing too much of a delay right now? Is it?
Your audio is fine, but I think your video is delayed. You don't have to have your video on if it's not working, babe. You're good.
If it's no. The audio, get it off. All right.
Try and see if you got the audience.
I still sound okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I don't even remember these people. Let's start there. Who are these people and stuff? And why am I meeting their exes? You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, I got more excuses than exes. I seen less exes than I seen anybody else on this show. But real talk with this one, this Kiara and Jay and this man situation. Now, I'm not going to act like this is not the first time I've heard of somebody, like knowing somebody that was younger than them and then circling back around when they became of age. However, the way this story is told is really wild because even those people that I know, it was more so I was looking at their big sister. I was trying to holler at them. I tried to push them off on my little brother or whatever and stuff like that. I went away. I didn't see them for a minute. Then I came back and, they grown now. It's different. But they were not looking at the 9-year-old, watching the 9-year-old grow up, mature, do all of these things, go through puberty and all this stuff. While still in the back of my mind, like, I'm trying to hit that. I'm trying to date that. And sir, it's like to the point that you're still so pressed right now in this current moment of like talking to this lady that you're hating so much on this man that's sitting in front of you who she's currently dating. So I'm really questioning Kiara more so than anybody. Is like, why did you bring this man knowing you have to friend zone him every single time he's around? This is why some people can't be friends with their ex. This type of energy is why, because it was never cut off. And I feel like she has never really officially cut this man off, that she in her downtime when she don't have nobody, he still has access to her. But he should have been long cut off if you knew after one date it just wasn't going to work. No, there go my internet. But if you knew after one date this wasn't going to work, he should have been cut off. Is my internet still in my back? Because I've seen it circle for a second. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Yeah. So I'm really looking at her with a side eye as, why did you bring this person out of everybody? Like, you might as well did like the other ladies and said, he passed away, my ex locked up. You already know my ex locked up. One of them is locked up. You could have ran with that excuse. Like, you know, the one ex I got, you know, I could take you to him. I ain't got no exes. She would have been better off, in my opinion, than bringing this man, because now you got her looking crazy. That man looked for sure crazy. And I don't know what Jay is supposed to do with any of this information, because I'm for sure never going to bring an ex that I feel is still interested in me, because one, he's not going to give me a genuine read on the man I'm sitting next to, or give that man good feedback that I need him to give for like going forward. So I'm never going to bring an ex that I know for sure is still interested in me. That was just dumb of her.
Yeah, no, listen, I definitely hear you.
It's take too long.
Oh, that's right. I got you. Don't worry, Jay. But yeah, no, I definitely, you know, I definitely hear you on that one, because I think what's really interesting about this situation is the fact that this decision of Kiara, obviously, I'm with you. I'm surprised that she brought him on the show, because again, you know, I think the type of relationship that they have and the fact that he actually fancies her, now that makes me feel like, Kiara, you think you've got this under control. And very similar to when she told a story about her ex that was in jail too. So I'm really wondering what kind of upbringing Kiara had. You know what I mean? Like, as to what she's actually encountered as a young individual, that there seems to be danger all around her in some of these men that seems to be around her. And I'm wondering what's going on there and how she's so calm and collected about it. It also makes me think as well, you know, what's going on and what's happened, what she experienced, what her parents were doing, what would they feel. I've got so many questions now, right? Especially with this gentleman who's come in. Like, one thing was an ex who was a boxer and, you know, Golden Glove, whatever. Now is this one? It's like, nah, sis, we gotta sit down and just pay attention so that you are not in danger, and your physical safety is not in danger with people like this as well. So, you know, I think you know, it's going to be interesting to find out a bit more about her. But if I'm Jay, yeah, my antenna's up, boy. I'm like, broski, if you can't cut a man off, I gotta cut a girl off, blood. For me personally, if you are still gonna be friends with this man, I'm gonna tell you straight, if you can't cut a man off, I'm gonna have to cut you off. Because this situation is crazy. You know what I'm saying, Chew? But yeah, it's a lot for them ones there. You get me? Go for it, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know you had a poll, and I'm one of the ones who said yes, you could be friends with an ex, because I'm currently friends with an ex, but I'm not best friends. I've told y'all that it's not gonna be no best friends. That's awkward. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna talk to him about the man I'm talking to, right? Like, that's weird. But I also know that we're in a space where it is like, yeah, we're done. That's not going back. You've had other relationships. I've had other relationships. This is like going on some years of us being apart before we even became friends again. So it's just like, there is a space for it. I know it's not for everybody. It comes with a different level of maturity for some folks or whatever and stuff. And I understand those people that is just like, I don't need to talk to my ex ever again. But it is a good way to find out how you showed up in a relationship sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that you got to bring your ex to meet your next, never. But sometimes it's good to be able to talk to your ex and be like, you know, how did I show up? What was the good that I brought to the table, and what negatives that I brought that probably could have been changed if I haven't changed them yet? And I've done that on my platform before, where I've had my ex come up and we've had that talk. So, you know, sometimes it's good to be able, if you can have an ex that you're cordial with, just to have those conversations with, just to see. Because sometimes we think we better in our relationships than we are. And clearly we think our picker is better than it is until we realize what type of exes we actually had.
Definitely hear you on that. Definitely hear you on that as well. El Cid, welcome to the conversation. I see Sean's here as well. El Cid, what's your thoughts on this Kiara Jay situation? What the heck is going on here?
Well, hello everybody. Glad we are the crew, or some are back together. glad to have this conversation. This is wild, and why I keep on saying, no friends with the ex, because you don't know how they're going to behave. And this one is a disastrous move. What was cringeworthy, you already touched upon, but the other side I thought was cringeworthy is the way he said, well, what connection do you think you have with her? And the continuing of the conversation is kind of like, I was her first. I'm going to always be her first, and I'm always going to have access. That is what was cringeworthy to me. I mean, he's going around the internet streets. Maybe it was editing or whatever, but sir, they cannot use words that you did not use. So again, it just, for me, Kiara, you got to manage this friend or this friendship a little bit better if you hope to move on. Apparently she's moved on because she has kids with someone else. He's not in the picture, unfortunately, but I don't know if her relationships before may have been tainted because of this friendship. Does he know his place as her friend? That's be my question.
Real question indeed. Master Sean, we talking about Kiara and Jay, and situation looking critical. Ex situation. What's your thoughts, sir? It's good to have you back.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I mean, I don't have too much different from what everyone has said up to this point. I already had my eye on Kiara, kind of looking at her with one eye and both eyes at the same time, because she also had exes that were in prison, or her most recent ex was in jail, So if I remember correctly, I think it was her and Rose that both had some exes that was doing some time. So clearly, I know her most recent ex couldn't come and visit, so she had to reach back into the, too far back. And it seems like she went too far back with this guy because, he was doing too much talking, and seems like he wants to now make a play for Kiara. So, I just got to look at her judgment a little bit, like, hey, this is the guy you thought to bring back? And then it turns out that he's 9 years her senior, and he seems like he's a little weirdo. And then he's making these off-putting comments. Yeah, he was strange. But I think the thing that I think was good was that at least Jay picked up on it. You know what I'm saying? So he picked up on it. He was able to kind of see that the guy wasn't about much. And he seems like he still likes Kiara. So, hey, maybe her plan worked after all.
Definitely hear that as well. No, I definitely understand that, and I think, like I said, it was interesting to see Jay handle Kiara. I want to ask a question then. How does Jay proceed forward now? Because after hearing this information, from your own perspective, how does Jay move forward? Does he continue onwards with Kiara? Does he ask for boundaries? Does he try to find out more about this dude? Like, what is the way that Jay should move forward? We need some solutions to help people who may also be in a similar situation. I hope not. I hope you are saint. But how does one move forward in this situation? Jay, I would love to hear your perspective on Jay.
If you decide to move forward, I want to know what your end goal really is. However, for sure, if you're serious about her or whatever, boundaries need to be in place, especially with that ex right there in particular. Like, it needs to be totally cut off, nipped all the way in the bud. There's no relationship over there that needs to be had at any time. Your number needs to be changed. You might even have to relocate just to get away from him, because he seemed like he might be a little stalkerish. But yeah, we definitely have to put some boundaries in place. We're gonna have to probably see the rest of your friend group. We might have to go down that list right there. We're gonna have to ask some questions about the ex that is currently at summer camp for life. There's a lot with Kiara in particular. It's not just simple, because if it was just this ex situation, this one that she brought to the table is just like, okay, we got to cut him off and move on. But then we still have the baby daddy situation. it's a lot. Jay just needs to proceed with caution. That's all I could really say. Is just like proceed with caution and just really know what it is he's trying to get at the end, you know, because at this point, he probably just trying to smash and keep it going. But if he actually is trying to pursue a relationship, just, you know, take your time, just really feel her out, get to know her and stuff like that, because it sounds like she's been playing some games anyway.
No, I definitely hear you. The games sounds like the games are playing, and you know, gotta be very careful. I think we mentioned this last time. El Cid, how does Jay move forward? How does he handle this situation moving forward? What would be our advice to Jay?
Well, he already handled it in a moment very well, I have to say. He definitely, my eyes would have been telling a much bigger story than his did. He needs to evaluate it. He did exactly that. Evaluated, see, you know, where her head is at. Does she need this friend in her life? What is the significance of this friend? And even talk to her and see if she finds this a problem, because she did speak up. She did speak up for herself, but it was only about what we saw was about being you know, bougie. That's when she spoke up about him and one, you know, and servant, you know, being a humble servant. I'm like, young lady, there's other things to speak up. But for Jay, for moving forward, I think he just needs to evaluate if he really wants to be there or not. Does he want to take on this heavy lifting? Because this is just one ex. As Sean reminded us, her other ex is incarcerated, and also the parentage of her child or children. So that's another heavy load to carry. So Jay needs to decide if he, as well as taking care of his own children, if he wants to take all this on board.
Some decent points. I'm liking it. Sean, how does Jay move forward with this situation, if any?
You know, to quote Jay-Z, it's a hard knock life for us. This sounds like a hard knock life he's trying to sign up for. So if he want a hard knock life, I say instead of treated, we get tricked. He can keep it on, keep moving, but I would be wrapping it up. It would be a no-go for me. Because now if he keeps pursuing this, then, you know, he's down with the hard knock life. But this is a major red flag. These are the red flags are flagging, and this would just be a, you know, do not pass go for me.
Definitely hear you on that, and I think there's something obviously deeper there for Kiara as well. I think Kiara could be I'm not gonna say nothing because we need more information. It could be that she likes to keep him around because it also feeds, and I don't mean this in an evil way, but more of a case of, especially if depending on what kind of household you grow in, and maybe also that for her it's like it helps her keep her feel wanted and desired, right? That she knows this guy likes her and he's around. It could be that too, right? It's also good to make her feel desired and wanted. It makes her feel secure. She's known him for a long while. It could also be the fact that also this is part of the grooming that's actually still having its effect on her in some shape or form, that she's not able to get rid of this man because she's had him in her life for a very long time. Could also be that too, you know? So, you know, I don't want to shoot her down immediately because of the information that was presented. It's making me think I have to look at this on a more broader scale. But if I was telling Kiara, I'll be like, yo, babe, listen, let's finish this now. Get rid of this man. He's dangerous for you emotionally, mentally, all that jazz. Get rid of him, you know? So I do definitely, I totally understand where that comes from. Jess asked a question. Maybe I can ask the panelists this and you can answer this. Does this mean she doesn't deserve love because of her past relationships? Panel, question to you guys. Does this mean that she doesn't deserve love due to her past relationships? Sean, go for it.
No, it doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve love. But do I deserve to be unalive? Do I deserve stress? Do I deserve a hard knock life? You know, I think she deserves to get her situations in order before she enters into a healthy relationship. And if you show signs that things ain't together and that you're still around unhealthy and toxic people, then you're probably not the best candidate to be in a relationship with, at least for me.
El Cid, does it mean a relationship does she not deserve love because of her bad past relationships?
She does deserve love. I mean, we're not saying she doesn't deserve love, but again, as Sean said and the chat has said, she needs to get her house in order. You know, is even if she didn't have all these other things, you always have to make room for the new love or for the love. So she has a lot of things in place and she has to set boundaries to kind of help navigate exactly what's going on. She needs to put Jay, or, you know, in this case, Jay's mind at ease, you know, that, okay, this is how I plan on, you know, co-parenting when their dad is no longer incarcerated. This is how I plan, you know, this is how my friendships are. This is how I am with family. And she has to make room for Jay, and Jay's in quotation marks, for whatever man comes into her life. So we all have, you know, situations in our life. We all have, you know, things to navigate, but we also have to help this new person, this new love, navigate so we can have a successful relationship.
Jay?
You know, Sean pretty much summed it up for me. Everybody deserves love, but here's the thing. Love comes from self first. That's the longest relationship you have in life, is yourself. Kiara needs to learn Kiara, because then she'll stop making piss poor decisions in the men she chooses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say baby daddy, the one who's incarcerated, was a bad choice, but this man right here, I don't care if you was crushing on him for the 9 years before. Had you took that time to just like loved on yourself before you entered that one date with that man, you would have known he wasn't the one. You would have known he was a creep from jump. So what Kiara needs to do is find love of self first and stop putting her energy elsewhere outside of her kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, her kids is going to be there. You got to put them there first or whatever. But outside of that, it's you and them kids. That's it right now. Your love extension is out of capacity for right now. Will your person come around? Yeah. When, like everybody said, you get your house in order. Because when your house is in order, that's when discernment kicks in. That's when you know how to set boundaries properly. That's when you know, like, this person is good for me or not. They bring me good energy. They contribute to the happiness that I already have for myself. I think that's what's lacking in her life right now, is self-happiness, knowing how to make herself happy outside of kids, man, anything else. Like, who is Kiara? That's the question. So she might need to sit for a minute, and that's okay.
And Kojo, might I add, you know, another lyrical reference from the great Usher. Situations will arise, but you got to be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have situations, things could happen in your life, but you got to be smart about it. And if you're not showing me you're not smart about it, then you can't cherish me, and I got to be out. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes things happen that aren't your fault, but they're your fault, you know? Like, and then other people get put in harm's way. And I have to just do the risk assessments. And I hope Jay is doing the risk assessments, because Kiara, as well-intentioned and sweet as she may be, she's made some poor choices. And, you know, those poor choices can affect your today. And, you know, when we're dating and we're entering into love, this is ready to love. Nah, I'm sorry, baby girl. I think you might have a little bit more work to do.
Definitely hear you guys. I'm not going to matter it. I'm definitely hearing what you guys are saying. All right, let's move it to another connection that happened as well. Hopefully Jay has heard her requests and he will duly supply. Let's talk obviously about you know, Angie and her particular date with you know, with Hussein. that situation there as well.
Nothing to do with you.
I feel on the passenger seat while she's in labor, driving herself to the hospital.
Yeah, no, I get that definitely on the male side. That's something that's probably gonna resonate and sit with you.
I think I just.
Now let me tell you this now. If my missus told me she's gonna drive while I was pregnant because she's about to give birth, she wouldn't even get in the steering wheel. I would tell her ass to get to the other side ASAP, Rocky. Don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying to you? Now I'm not gonna blame the dude. I'm just saying we ain't gonna get far. Like, get your ass to the other side. You know what I'm saying to you? But that's just me. That's how I feel about it. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on Angie and Hussein, because obviously she made that declaration that she felt like she was very hyper independent. She didn't allow him to be a man. I want to get you guys and ladies' thought as well in this aspect. Who's feeling froggy? You should jump. Let me know your thoughts on this Angie and Hussein situation. Yes, I see. That's it.
Well, Angie grew up with what, 4, 6, 8, 10 brothers. Okay. I mean, that I was not surprised when he said that she was, a little, tough around the edges and she wanted to do. I understand, Angie, you want to be distracted from the pain. I understand, but you are putting yourself in danger zone driving and operating a vehicle while going through this bodily function. But again, as you said, Kojo, you've been like, this ain't what we doing. So he gonna have to, whoever he is, gotta wrestle control from Angie, and she wasn't giving it up at that time. But Angie, you need to just sit back, sister, and just do what, nature is calling you to do. But here's my problem with Angie's communication. There's no reason Hussein should have came there, sat down, and then had to reintroduce himself, because this man is of high importance. This is not just your ex. This is the father of your child. This is a man that is going to be in your life forever and ever. And he wanted to show due respect. And as a father himself, he understood that. He's like, oh, okay. So Angie's communication, this episode, was not it. It showed me how things go sideways with her.
Some good points there. Never thought about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Who wants to go? Sean, Jay? Who would like to go? Eeny, meeny, money, mo.
My take on it was her patience. Like I understand contractions hit and it's like, we need to go now. Water break, we need to go now. Panic set in, we need to go now. But ma'am, your patience, it almost to the point I'm visioning this man jumping in the car because you're taking off without him. So he just kind of trying to jump in the car with you, like, what's good? Or what was going on? I needed that conversation to be flushed out just a little bit more for me. And hopefully it was for Hussein. I'm not sure. But I would have really had more questions on how did we get in, you in the back, you in the passenger seat and her behind the wheel, and get into the hospital like this. Because what? Like, were you actually in labor, or was they just saying, hey, you need to come in today and we're going to induce you? Or what was the reason? Because, ma'am, chill, relax. You got to focus. You need to chill out and just like focus on just safely getting to the hospital at this point, especially with him in the car. Because it was given at first, when I was first hearing it, it was like he wasn't around. So it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, he wasn't there. But when he said he was in the passenger seat, I'm like, oh, wait, hold up. We need more questions. Like, this ain't right. As Elsie said, she got a bunch of brothers. Now I need to figure out some more background history. Is your mom not around? Do you not have female presence around you? Like, do you not know how to allow a man to lead? Or were your brothers making you so independent that you had to kind of do everything for yourself? Did you keep up with them? Or do you feel like a man can't do what your family does? Because sometimes we get in those situations, we have a daddy that's super strong or brothers that are super strong. And when we get in a relationship with a man, and if they don't live up to what our brothers or our dad does, I got it myself. You take it too long. You know what I'm saying? We get that type of attitude. And you can't carry that all the time, because sometimes you got to sit back and allow a man to have that space to be able to do what he needs to do. Now I got questions for baby daddy. Like, were you not stepping up to the plate when you, like I said, I got a lot of questions from this whole situation between these two. It's like, was you not stepping up from the plate that she don't trust your lead? Because it might be some of that too, why she's over here driving herself. So I'm not going to just look at her as all the blame. You know what I'm saying? They sat there cordially. They told the story together. So I feel like both of them had a hand in how we got here. But I needed more questions. You know what I'm saying? I need more answers from both of them. But to fast forward to today, Angie, have you learned anything from that experience? Do you actually, I mean, maybe this is the first time you're hearing it from him. Now that you heard it from him, can you sit back? Are you going to be able to let a man lead? Because both of your choices right now are telling you that they the man of their relationship. You know what I'm saying? And they want to be the man of the relationship. So are you going to give them that space to be able to show up for you? And are you going to be able to communicate to them when they don't show up sometimes the way you may like them to show up so they can make the adjustments? So we'll see how it goes going forward. But, you know, you got another one we got to keep a little eye on. You know, we get a little too independent as ladies, you know, being on our own, being single moms, whatever the case may be. But sometimes you got to learn how to fall back if you want a man to lead. That's if you want a man to lead. So that's another question I got for her too. Do you want a man that leads?
Yeah, this is interesting, I think. So definitely I feel like there's more to the story, like you said, Jay, as well, that we need to tap into. Sean?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to add. It's just, you know, I don't know. I think maybe because I missed you guys so much, the songs just keep coming to my mind. The lyrics just keep flowing, you know. I'm just glad to have us all in this building. But I just think about, is she a man eater? You know, uh-oh, here she comes. You know, I don't know. I feel like Angie might be a little bit of a man eater. You know, I'm getting that impression from her. You know, some of her banter, the way she carries on. You know, maybe because she was repressed in her previous relationship where she felt control. Now she wants to flip the tables. You know, the tables have turned, and she, you know, she want to be a little bit of a man eater. So that's the impression I'm getting from Angie. You know, she gonna get you before you get her.
Well, it's possible, Sean, if you watching your brothers be F boys or whatever. I'm not saying that that's what her brothers are, but if you watching like them or they homeboys do a whole bunch of stuff, you might be trying to be first to, you might be proactive instead of reactive, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I think, you know, that Angie in this say, I think it's kind of crazy. I don't know if that man, I don't want to blame him. I'm trying not to blame him, but that example was just horrible. I was like, bro, like, I'm just thinking to myself, like, you could have caught an Uber. And I just don't understand why she's driving. And I guess it encapsulates essentially probably how that relationship was, about who was leading and who's willing to surrender. And she didn't say it from a position of saying like, you know what, you know, that actually she chose to drive because he wasn't a good, you know, she felt like he didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? It sounded like he wanted to do it and she wouldn't allow him to do it. But in that same sense, you know what I mean? So there's accountability on her part as well in terms of, can she soften up? Can she allow someone to lead? Can she allow that person to step forward in that space, right? But again, I guess I'm judging it by my perspective in this situation. I just couldn't allow you, in the safety of myself, in the safety of you, in the safety of them, and the people who are on the road. Your ass can't be driving. You need to be in the passenger seat and letting me drive. Because if you start feeling some type of way and the body starts reacting, you know what I mean? A whole lot of pain can come through that situation. We could all be in trouble, you know? So, you know, I think, again, as a man, you want to make sure that you are in a place where you have some real conversations with your partner to be able to understand, You know, someone said, "What am I gonna do? Fight the pregnant lady?" Nah, but you know what it is. You have to. You see, a level of assertiveness is energy as well as a tone, as the way that you say something, and the meaningfulness behind it. She knew. It's like playing a game of chicken. People know that you're gonna say chicken first. It's the same thing with leadership. Some people know that you're gonna chicken out first. So it's like, is it again? My energy is like, you're not driving. Like, you're actually not driving. Give me the keys now, because you're not driving, and I'm serious about it. You're not driving. So, my friend, take yourself to the other side. Your tone, your energy, everything shifts when you're in that space because you realize how serious the situation is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to argue with you in this situation. So it's like that comes with a certain level of, again, I think for me personally, it comes with a certain level of confidence as well, that the person recognizes when you're being, it's almost like, I hate to say it, but it's like little kids. They know when your tone has changed, like you're being serious. Like, people know when your tone has changed. They pick up on it. They see that you're being serious about the situation, you know? So, yeah, I think it's indicative of probably how the relationship actually went. But to not, even in that situation, is crazy word to me. But again, I'm giving a little bit of grace, but that's all I'm going to say. Any other thoughts on these two and their situation? No? Okay. We'll move it on then. Okay, so let's go to Cam and Sahara. I said Cam and Sierra, but Cam and Sahara. Okay, because they had a little situation. You know, unfortunately, her ex actually passed away. So let's have a conversation.
Like I could take it, and I can, but it's like, bro, like what's wrong with you? No, like he just felt like I was unbreakable. Like nothing hurt my feelings. Like she's just so strong. She's so tough. Like,
lady, so got
okay, so she said obviously that she dated somebody who in the relationship, you know, that he was so strong with her, and he was so hard with her in the way that he dealt with her. And she was like, I'm not that strong, and you know, and in essence, you know, she wanted to be treated softly. And I found that quite interesting because I do believe she wants to be treated. I think everybody wants to be treated correctly, you know what I mean? And so it does make sense as to maybe why she's a bit more tenacious with her responses and the way that she behaves. I don't think she's fully learned how to get to that place. But definitely want to get you guys' thoughts and the ladies' thoughts on this. What you thought about the Cam and Sahara conversation. And when she made that statement about her ex not treating her softly, I want to get your thoughts on that as well. So I will go to Elsid first. Elsid, talk to me.
I think with Sahara, it was a very good moment. It showed her softer side. We keep seeing her softer side with Cam, though. You know, we see, you know, little glimpses of it with Fritz when he was there, but it's really, really with Cam. And I appreciated that she said that. It was her way of saying, you know, she wants to be treated softly and basically giving him, as, you know, following in Sean's footsteps, giving him the blueprint on how to, you know, basically treat her and how she wants to be treated. My thing is this the only ex? You know, I'm quite surprised that so many of the ladies have an ex that is passed away. But the only thing I would say to Sahara, because I really resonate with Sahara, because 20s El Cid was very much like Sahara, in that if you present yourself with a tough exterior, that is what someone will come to you with. If you present yourself as being the tough cookie, that's how someone is going to treat you, like the tough cookie. And if they start off like that, it's really hard for them to kind of turn a corner in treating you. And if they cannot turn the corner, then you got to turn the corner and walk away. But again, I'm glad that she is able to present her softer side to Cam. I'm hoping that the other gentlemen that are of interest to her can also see the softer side of her. I think Hussein does. But again, Sahara, you know, if you can be a little gentler, I know it's hard at first because you think somebody might take advantage of you or see your softer side as weakness. I think you will find, you know, a different tone of man, you know, presenting themselves to you.
As I say this, I don't want nobody to take this as malice when I say it, because I know we usually say this term in a more malicious way. But my question is, who hurt you? Because you're jaded. You're tainted right now, and that taint has you hardened. That's why you present this way. So I don't know if it's stemming from childhood, parents, friends, whatever it is. You have this tough exterior that you carried around because somebody hurt you and you never let that hurt go. You never healed that hurt. So everybody that comes into contact with you just feels this hard presence and feel like they can treat you any type of way when they don't realize there's something soft on the inside of that shell. So what I really want Ciara to do is learn how to break that shell for herself and let her softer side be her strength. Stop running away from that side of you, because being soft is not necessarily a weakness, especially when you know how to play your softness, your damsel in distress role right. It's not really a weakness. It's okay to sit here and use it as a form to figure out who has best intentions for you and not. Like she's at advantage right now because you have a hardened side to you already, Sahara. You already have that hardened side to you, and you can use that softness as an advantage to really see who is in your corner and who's not. When you open up those doors, who hurt you? You know what I'm saying? Who has your best intentions? I used to look at Bad Girls Club and always used to sit here and be like, why these heifers tell they things that hurt them, only for it to be triggered by the same thing they told. If I tell you something, you can't hurt me by the information. That just helps me know that you're not the person that should be in my life, because I see you're trying to hurt me with information I gave you. So sometimes you got to use that soft side of you as your advantage to find out who's really in your corner. And it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be like soft or whatever, and just rest in your femininity just a little bit, so a man don't treat you hard, because he's only treating you how he sees you, and he's only seeing you how you present yourself sometimes. So if you keep hitting them with the bruh and all this stuff like that, you know, like that's what they're gonna do. Sometimes you gotta be like, hey king, I know we hate this stuff, but hey king, good day, handsome. You know, sometimes you gotta teach him. You really teach him. You really be teaching people how to treat you. And sometimes that starts on how you treat them. So I'm glad Cam does speak, like see her for her. And I think that's what she needs, is people to just allow her to be her. And that helps soften her up. However, I need Sahara just be comfortable in who she is. You're a presence, you're a presence, period. Don't dim your light for anybody in this world because they can't handle it. Just be who you are, show up as you are, but you know, you can show up as how you want to be treated as well. So that means you can show up saying, I might get rough if you push me there, but you know, I'd rather relax over here on the softer side. So treat me with care. You know, go from there, ma.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be sensitive to this too, you know, because people have a past and things like that. But you know, and Sahara wasn't the only one. It was just like, what you what happened to the assignment? Like the assignment is like you couldn't get a good friend, a brother, you know, to come in and just vet. I just think that's so important, especially, you know, that women have, doesn't necessarily have to be an ex, but you know, and I know sometimes they do the family and things like that. So maybe that's coming down the pike. But I think if you can't find an ex, you need to get some dude here to be able to speak on your behalf, as well as to vet the guy that you are interested in, or guys, right? So I just wish somebody could have stepped in. I know in the past they had like Tommy step in, you know, whatever. Somebody should have been there, you know. And you know, this just coming up with Sahara, but there was other people that just didn't have nobody. You know, the same for what's her name? D, the firefighter. It's like, who is representing you? I just want some people to, you know, I want the ladies to have some people there, manufacture somebody. We've seen the guys do that. Pull somebody out of nowhere that we know is just for the plot of it all, at least. Entertain me. And maybe I'm just being a little tough because we've been on this, Daniel's fast of a hiatus that they've been having going on, with the show. But I just really wish somebody would have been there for her and anybody else who didn't have nobody. Only person, Kiara, could have been by herself because it probably would have been better for her to be by herself than to have that clown up there. But yeah, and just my song of reference because I have another one for her, and I love that the ladies have poured into her, and I feel the same way. She needs to break every chain, every chain. Let Tasha Cobbs sing her, and let her know that Jesus, every chain can be broken. Release that, and get the treatment that she deserves as a woman. Because I think she too deserves to be loved. But she's got to break them chains in order to step into the space that she wants to be in and be treated the way she deserves.
I so agree with you on that part. Like, you should have a close friend. I'm wondering if OWN is just being real strict on it or something like that. I was surprised that so many ladies didn't have an ex because they, how they was in the past with them acting all crazy and stuff. But I would prefer, like, you just to have a close friend, representative, somebody that has watched you deal with some exes at the least, to know what you're going, especially Sahara in this case, because like she's saying, people have been treating her hard and stuff like that. So it's like, for her, it would have benefited her to at least have a friend that has watched her gone through the loss of the ex that she lost, any other ex that she's dealt with, because those are still good insights too. You know what I'm saying? Those people they watch from the sideline, but sometimes they know a lot more that be going on inside, and they see both sides. They see what she's doing, and they see what that person is doing. So I agree with you, Sean.
Yes, I definitely hear you guys. I do think, like, obviously with Sahara, what she can learn to do is just be a little bit more softer. I want her to rest in her femininity, but also rest in her vulnerability, right? Because she says about her ex mishandling her, and I think you mentioned this earlier on as well, Elsid and Jay as well, and Sean, that this she needs to show up in the way that she also wants to be treated, right? Because she shows up very, very, very tough and shows up very invulnerable. And so when you show up tough and invulnerable, unfortunately, people mistreat you and mislabel you as being, you can throw it around. We do need to put sometimes a little bit of a label on ourselves to say we're fragile. So handle me with care a little bit, and she'll get a different response. And I think obviously with Cam, I think we do see a more softer side, as well with him. Whether his patience will outlast her transformation, it's another story. You'll have to find out over time whether it will outlast that, or whether she has a blow up before then. You know what I mean? Or she self-sabotages before then. I have to wait and see. But I do feel like she just needs to be able to open herself up, emotionally vulnerable a bit more, soften herself by doing so, and she'll actually get a different response from men. And like I said, Jade, who hurt you? Being able to heal some of those wounds so that you don't feel as heavy and as dark coming into relationships will definitely help you in terms of your people that are attracted to you as well, right? Okay, so definitely hearing you guys and ladies on this point as well. Any other thoughts on this aspect as well before I shift it again?
I know you said if Cam can outweigh the transformation, but sometimes people allowing you to be you helps. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Cam is her person all the way through. I'm not even sure, because I got my eye on Cam himself from this episode too. But sometimes that's all you need, is somebody not to try to dim your light. I watch that like time and time. They be attracted to it. They like moth to a flame to it. But once they get over there, they want to extinguish your flame. And that sometimes harden people too, because I get that she's probably done that. It's like everybody's telling her not to be this way, not to be hard, not to do this, not to do. But it's her. Whatever reason it is, it's still her in this current moment. So sometimes you just got to let her breathe and figure it out, and then like sort through, where is it coming from? Why do I feel like this? Why do I have the need to be like this with everybody? You know, and it is going to take some people with patience that come in her life if she's choosing to date right now. But it's going to take a lot of her, again, like I said, for the other one, Kiara, loving on yourself. Because you can start setting your boundaries for other people too. While they have all these rules and regulations for you, you can set them for them too. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come in here trying to dim me. This is me. If you don't accept me, it's okay. I'm okay with being alone. Sometimes you got to sit alone. God send your person. God will send your person. You just got to be patient enough to wait for God. And a lot of times we're just not. We want everything right now, right when, like microwave love and stuff. And microwave love is not always satisfactory. Sometimes you need you to slow cook that thing. So just put it in the pot, walk away, go do it, all the things that you need to do, meaning fix on yourself, work on yourself while that thing is cooking in that pot. And guess what? Some hours later, it be ready, nice and tender, and you be nice and soft and ready for it. Okay, enjoy.
As you said, Kojo, that Cam's patience, I don't know. It seems like he's, as I put in the chat, he's trying to pick the lock to unravel who she is and to get deeper. My question is, again, with everybody who seem a little too perfect, what is going to happen when he's frustrated that she isn't opening up enough to him, or isn't to the level that he would like her to open up? What happens then? What happens if she isn't, allowing his leadership style, at a moment? It's when you're in your frustration, I want to kind of know, like, how are you going to behave? And to piggyback off what Jay's saying, yes, God will send you the person for you. And I would add to that is you ask that you can recognize that person when they are before you. Because, some people are sent, but they recognize, or they take on the wrong person, or they think they recognize the person and it's not actually that person. But I'm just kind of curious as to how this with Cam and Sahara, if there is a frustration level, how would they, resolve conflict in a relationship?
I know this episode was geared mostly to the women, but can we speak on Cam? Because there was a lot of red flags for me with Cam this episode too, you know what I'm saying? Because the fact that he was so mad that he couldn't meet the baby daddy of Angie or whatnot, and some of his little comments that he was saying within the moment, it was just like, sir, he's would he say something about yeah, I like to nitpick and find like the negatives, or how he came in with what's her name? What's the other one? Damn, I can't remember her name.
Rose.
Yeah. I need to know the negatives. I need some dirt on her and stuff like that. It's like, what? Why do you need dirt on people? Why are you looking for the negatives in people and stuff like that? Like, why are you nitpicking at things? Why you just can't be okay? He gives me fixer upper. He's okay when you're a project for him. We like to say that about women all the time, that's fine and to build a bear and stuff like that. But he's one of those men that likes him to build a bear too. Like, he likes to have a woman. He gives me like he needs a woman to be dependent on him or whatever. And for me, that's lack of confidence in himself. Like, you shouldn't need me depending on you for anything. You know what I'm saying? We should be kind of coming into this kind of equal, so to speak, and bringing whatever we need to bring to the table to each other. But I don't need to be dependent on you. I don't need to be broken down by you to be built back up or anything. Or you don't need to find me broken to make yourself feel good by building me up, because that means something is missing within you. So I be looking at Cam a little weird, like something about him. We'll find out with them friends next week, but something about him, I'm just like, eh.
Oh yeah, he wants to be a hero. You're right about that, Jay. And I did ask him about that. It's like being someone in uniform and all of that stuff. When you hear him talk about that, yeah, that's when you really hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you ladies at all. I definitely feel like he wants to be able to, um, you know, build, and I think that's why and that's why I would say that I think that's why he gives her so much grace. You know what I mean? He gives her so much grace because he's trying to save her, and I don't want people to be in that space. I talk about women being Bobina the builder. We don't want you to be Bob the builder either, because being above the builder or being the builder is rooted in ego. It's rooted in you trying to build someone up to make you feel good. The fact that you're the one saving them, you're the one that's built them, you're the one that's made them better, you're the one that's they'll thank me for this. Like, nah, cuzzy. But also at the same time, I also understand there is a aspect of you see yourself in that person as well. That you see that you need saving, and so you're kind of seeing in them that you can help them. But I just don't want you to be in that space, because what ends up happening is, resentment can build, frustration can build. If that person doesn't do that, then if they don't then respond to you in a way that you want them to, you're going to discard them. So that's why I'm saying, like, for you got to put yourself first. You got to put your needs first. Is Sahara able to be the woman that you need, or are you responding to Sahara through your wounded self? That's not to trash him or anything, but it's to open up that conversation. So yes, I think that's important to also disclose as well, about the fact that wanting to be so okay with some of the behaviors that you've witnessed and experienced, and then be like, I want to Bob the Builder this situation. So yeah, definitely hear that as well. Don't disagree with that at all. I don't know if anyone's got any add-ons to that before we shift to the next couple.
I was gonna say, just real quick off of what you said, like, a lot of times that doesn't work. Trying to save somebody, save yourself through saving somebody else. We seen that with Jada. Like you see how that turned out. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't need saving. You think they need saving because you recognize, like you said, you recognize yourself in them, and you want to save that child in you that wasn't protected or saved by somebody. You want to heal yourself through healing them. But I don't feel like Sahara needs saving. Sometimes her people is just not there. And then you're, like you said, you're going to build resentment because she may not recognize that she was in a position for you to save her. She needs to be seen, yes, but saved, no. So if you're seeing her and you're accepting who she is, that's one thing. But if you feel like you're going to just see her and then start trying to switch her up and try to make her something that she's not, that's a whole different thing. And it's like, don't do that, because that's not a relationship you want. You want to be in a relationship with somebody that you actually see and you start to love for who they are and stuff like that, because as they're changed, you're going to have to relearn to love them anyway. You know what I'm saying? And are you going to love those parts of them? So if you see them right now, just stick with that. And I'm hoping that's where he's at, that he's actually seeing her and not seeing himself in her.
Definitely hear you. Okay, cool. Let's move to the next couple. And let's talk about this one here, baby. This moment here had me in a chokehold.
Caught up during this date. I didn't like it. And to say that she's cute, nah, man, we all know she's beautiful. So I just had to let it be known, like, don't come for Taye like that. She can say, oh, who's Taye? But I can say, who's Fritz, right? That was her number one, right? So, you just have to.
Man, so let me add a little humility to your plate. Yeah, you got too much food on your plate, but let me add a little bit more humility. Dish, bash, bosh. Want to get you guys' thoughts on Cisco and Chenise. Obviously, he also, for those of you who don't know, he also sent her home as well. Well, I mean, he didn't send her home, but she had to go home, and he's the one that spoke to her. And he was sad. I did have some tears. I was moved by Cisco, man. He doesn't want to necessarily be mean to her or anything like that, but I think he recognized that he wanted to say more, and he felt bad that he had to send her home in the end. I do feel like he cared about her. It's an unfortunate situation, but let me get you guys' thoughts. What's you guys' thoughts on Chenise and Cisco? That's cute.
He's mad extra to me.
Okay.
It's like I mean, that whole thing where he just piped up and was like, "No, she's not cute. She's beautiful." It's like, all right, bro. I didn't take any offense to it. You know what I mean? Like it to me, it wasn't offensive. The comment that Shanice was making, and then he's just jumping off the rails. And I get it. And Shanice made the point too. It's like, why are we talking about another woman? Like, there's no need to bring her into the fold. You know what I mean? Like, when you are now meeting somebody that is important to her, keep the conversation focused on Shanice. You know, so I just find him to be not even, and we did our whole breakdown with words of advice and encouragement for him. I don't think he is emotionally regulated and ready to be in relationships, and I'm talking about Cisco. Like, I just find him to he needs to really still do more healing. He's doing all these breakdowns. He's sending Shanice home. He's doing dry tears. I just don't think he's not ready. He's not the one to, he's just very reactive. And I think, there's just like we were saying, certain, like talking about Kiara and the stuff that she still needs to work on. He needs to sit on the bench and heal, get himself together. He talked about how spiritual and uplifting Shanice was, but then on the other hand, he snapped on her and then sent her home and packed her up. So, yeah, he's just a walking conundrum to me. And that's what I think.
Well, in all fairness, Sean, Shanice brought up his others. He just clarified. All right. Now, she was a little sarcastic when she was like, she's cute. And I'm not mad at him defending his. Now, should he have defended his in this moment? Probably not, because you are still needing votes to pass through to continue to take yours. So you got to be a little strategic about it. But I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's cute me. Monkeys are cute, boo-boo. Okay, don't do that. See me for all of me, okay? Shanice didn't have to say anything. She's attractive. She's a very beautiful lady because she is. Don't do that. Don't do that. She's cute. Or whatever. So in his defense, I will give him that credit. However, he did need to calm down. Because, bruh, if you on a date with me, we ain't gonna keep talking about your other right now. Like, you on a date with me and my ex. What when the foolishness is you got going on right now, sir? Like, calm down. Calm down. All right. But also, I'm not gonna also bring up the fact that you got others to choose from. I'm just, we here. We enjoying this moment. I'm not talking about no others. I don't know. With Cisco, like you said, Sean, he need to sit down for a minute. He got a lot of other stuff he needs to take care of. And as we see moving forward that, he might have let go one of his connections a little prematurely, because it sounds like Miss Taye girl gonna do a little shake and bake and move over in a different direction and whatnot. So I don't know how that's gonna work for him too well in the long run, but we shall see. We shall see.
Go for it, Elsa.
I'm sorry. He brought up his connections, if I remember. He said he had other connections, and that's when Shanice clarified it with her ex. So he did bring it up. He didn't say, the name at first, but he did open that door to have that conversation. So her saying it's cute, yes, he did too much. Why are you then, Cisco, bringing Taye's name up and, correcting she's beautiful, she's this, she's that. You're changing the focus from the date. And then you told Shanice basically, you ain't interested in her if you're that interested in, talking about Taye. Why are we talking about Taye on my date? And sending Shanice home, I'm sorry, they should have had every woman who did not have a person there up on the block, because Shanice completed the assignment. And this is where we move in the goalpost. You're saying, okay, you got to bring an ex. Shanice brought an ex, but in the men's lounge, you're talking about an ex all the way back from college. You go that far back? You need to make up your mind. Do you want the assignment completed or do you want it done? Because Chenise completed the assignment. And even though she completed the assignment, she got sent home. Yes, her only connection was Fritz or whatever. She got sent home. And I'm sorry, Cisco, I didn't see a tear. It was a dry eye. You were sniffling into that microphone. I don't believe it. And you sending me home and you have the nerve to be crying for me to comfort you? Please get away from me. Let me get this microphone off and let me go home. Because it was too much for me. It was too much. Cisco, get it together. You did not want that lady. Taye is beautiful and all of that. Go let beautiful Taye go rub your back and wipe your tears. I'm sorry. It was too much.
You know, putting bars on, I hear it. Black. How Cisco's getting cooked.
Man, yeah. As he should. As he should. There was no reason why this man had to correct her in saying that, no, Taye is beautiful. It's one thing to have her back. If it was any other audience, okay, I get that. Have her back. But at the same time, you don't sit there and say that the other woman is beautiful and then lose your way mid-conversation. Because remember, he said, oh, I forgot what I was going to say, what I'm talking about. He was thinking about Taye's beauty. It was no need for him to even be there at that point. Chenise had every right to be upset. Every right to be upset. So to me, I think that it played out the way it was supposed to play out. With as far as him, he did mention something. It was a conversation about something. I know you guys heard this as well, where it was saying like dudes talking about going to blows or getting punched in the face or something like that. I don't know why that was even a conversation when they first sat down. But Chenise going back that far with finding someone like high school sweethearts, college sweethearts. I don't understand why you finding someone that far back. So to me, I think that was a telling sign right there as well. Now, also at the end, when Cisco was with Chenise, I think that those were crocodile tears, because in his confessional, he said, I know now the one for me is Taye. So why is it that you're going to go to Chenise and say all of this to her and start crying? But Chenise should have seen it as a red flag as well. For him to say the one thing he really was saying he liked about her was the fact that she made him closer spiritually, strengthened him spiritually. I'm like, a friend can do that. I mean, that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. You want someone who can do that for you, but you also want someone who you love spending time with, someone who you also think is beautiful, someone who also makes you feel like you can become a better man. He didn't give out any other reasons besides just the spiritual. And you definitely need more than that. So if she wasn't the one for you, I get it. She's not the one for you, but tell me, why are you crying? You're a grown man. Why are you crying because someone is not a connection for you? And Chenise gave him a pass. She said, oh, it's because, he didn't want to hurt my feelings. No, it's because he didn't mention the fact that he fought for you. Because I don't think he did. He didn't say, hey, I told them to keep you here and this, that, and he didn't do any of that. So he didn't take accountability and responsibility for the situation at hand. So I don't have much respect for Cisco at all.
Now, listen, I want to just put a little bit more, faith behind Cisco a little bit, just to balance it a little bit. The first one was the question was asked by the ex of.
Thank you.
Just want to be honest. She did say that, you know what I mean? The ex said that. So to be fair to Cisco, once the ex said that, Chenise said what she said, and then Cisco was like, we ain't. I think Cisco saw her comment as her trying to belittle the competition, but he also saw himself as defending Taye a little bit as well. And so I do understand his position as to why he said that, and why he decided to defend Taye. I think because he, I understand it, understandably.
Yeah, so, but that wasn't the time though, Coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have another woman that you're interested in right in front of you, and you want to defend the woman that's not even here. Like, as a gentleman in that situation, okay, she said that she's cute. Maybe she is more than cute. I will agree with that. But that's not the time for you to step up and defend someone who's not even there when you have two people vying for your attention, your affection, you're pretty much saying at that time that you're more into the other person because of how you're protecting them or defending them in that manner.
No, I agree with you. Go for it, Sean.
I think the other thing that's important is that Cisco is the one that started talking about Taye first, because he said, I'm locked in on a couple people. And then he started talking about, and I think really highly of Taye, or whatever his words was. And that's when the her dude or her ex was like, well, who's this Taye? What does this Taye person look like? So the chain of events started with Cisco introducing Taye into the mix when he didn't even need to bring her up, when he was talking about Chenise. And it went from, I don't know if it's editing, but it went from him talking about how Chenise poured into him and how she's prayed for him and lifted him up, and then skip to him talking about his connection with Taye. So the guy is like, oh, he bringing up Taye. Who's this Taye girl? What she look like? And that's what happened next.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, I definitely agree with what you guys said in terms of the order of events, right? He started saying that, he normally locks in. He did say that. He said he locked in specifically. He locks in early, so he ended up locking on Taye. He said there's no, there's no surprise about that, right? Because he's obviously made it clear that he's locked in. And then the ex then said, "What did she look like?" Bro, and obviously Chenise, what she said. I'm just saying that I think I can understand why he did what he did. I think he thought to himself, I don't want you slighting her, bro. And yes, he probably showed his hand in terms of him liking Taye more. I mean, I won't even lie. I think that's the truth. I just don't think he liked the fact that she was trying to belittle the other connection, which is usually an indication that, like you said, that he likes her person more. So I'm not going to disagree with you on that at all. I didn't see it as so bad. Rather, I just saw it as he declared who he liked more, in a sense, by doing that, because she decided to say something which he felt like she was being a little bit cheeky, right? And I think she was being a little bit cheeky. Oh, she cute. No, she's a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? She like cheeky. Cute is like, you trying to slide on the chick. So I get why he might have thought to himself, let me defend the honor, because she's beautiful. You know what I mean? Because cute is definitely, I don't care what none of you said, cute is not the way that you're going to be using for another woman like that. Exactly when you're saying that, you're trying to slide.
Definitely. Like I said, cute is for monkeys. You know what I'm saying? She's a gorgeous woman like you is too, Chenise. Like, it. You recognize it. And the way she said it too, it's like, y'all not going to try to play me on how somebody gives the energy and stuff like that. I read her energy when she said it. She did it a little side eye and all that little shoulder shrug. She cute. Like, all right, you feel some type of way. That's what it is. But he said it, like Kojo said, he said it before then. I locked in early. That doesn't mean that he can't pivot either, though. He just says, I have a tendency to lock in early. And Taye was my choice. So you can't fault him for that, because you weren't there when he first met Taye and he started talking to her. That's just on him. So it's like,
I'm sorry, Jay. Did I interrupt you, Jay? I'm sorry if I did. Let me know I did. But yeah, I just think that as Cisco being as old as he is and being around women as long as he has, that's something that women do. When you're referring to another woman that they're not really feeling or they're in competition with, they're going to say,
slow your roll. I just told you, as a woman, I got mad confidence in myself. And if I see another attractive woman, she is very beautiful. I have no problem to tell you she's a better, I got competition, baby.
Okay. So I've seen that happen on more than one occasion, right? I can't say all women do that. I'm not going to go that far and do that. But what I will say is that I have seen examples of this happen before. Is it healthy? Is it toxic? I leave that up to you guys to decide. But for me, I've seen it happen where women are talking about other women and saying she's cute. And the way she says she's cute really means that she thinks she's beautiful, just by how she said she's cute. But she didn't want to give too much energy. She didn't want to give too much support in that direction to a man that she's interested in by, boasting about another woman. So that's how I took it.
Corey, okay, I understand the whole cute phrase, but if we go back to look at it, and I guess it's my translation as a lady, yes, she's cute, like saying, she's pretty. It was a tone of, but she's not in my league. That's what I heard afterwards. She ain't up to my level. She good looking and all, but she ain't no competition for me. That's the tone I heard. Chenise may not have meant that, but that is certainly what I heard in the background when she said it, because she had the little shrug in the shoulder kind of thing, and I was like, ooh, Chenise, that was a little slight. It wasn't bad, but it was a slight.
Okay.
Y'all gonna put 10 on 2 on this whole thing. And I know most of y'all up on this panel very well, including you, Kojo. And if you was out with another woman that you're interested in and is interested in you, and she and the conversation comes up about another guy, and first of all, they start talking about the next person they're dating in a very, admirable fashion, and your connection is just starting to build with them, and then somebody want to ask you what they look like. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, he all right. Like I'm not. She's not dating Taye. She's dating Cisco. So it's kind of like, why am I gonna waste my energy uplifting the next person that I'm technically in competition with? Now should she say something mean? No. If she said, yeah, I don't think she's all that, but he likes her. Now if she says something like that, then hey, that's something that could be talked about. But if she called the girl cute, I think we can build a bridge and get over it. But y'all want to do think pieces on it?
You can because you're not a woman. You can because you don't have that same energy and stuff, and you don't deal with women that be hating on women. That's the thing. You don't have that. You're not gonna sit here and have another man. What that man look like? Oh, he fine. Like another woman is not gonna be like, ask her girl right there. What he look like? Like she gonna talk to her girl later on. That's not something that we gonna sit there and do in front of the man that is interested in our girl either. Like, come on now. Like, first off, but asking another woman and stuff like that, you could tell by that woman's answer and stuff like that. If she got confidence, regardless if she competition or not, she's a very attractive woman. I think, you know what I'm saying? I'm okay. I will be okay if he don't choose me, because that just means that he's not for me. That's my confidence and stuff like that. You can compete with me all you want. I'm not competing for this man. If this man want to choose you, he want to choose you. That's just the point blank. Very attractive girl. Go for her. Competition or not. But everybody don't have my confidence. So therefore, you when you learn that, you'll know that some people out here is going to snake you. They're going to sit there and try to downplay you. And like Elsie said, say you not on their level when I'm clearly above it. That's why I'm not on your level, sis. Sorry.
Y'all better not call me cute. That's what I'm saying. But we'll roll the tape, and we can here's what happened, play by play.
Who I liked, and everybody else is non-existent. It's no secret that I kind of locked in with Taye.
What Taye look like?
Taye's beautiful.
Okay.
No, she's beautiful.
Okay, Taye beautiful.
He's ruthless.
Yeah. He checked her. He checked her, bro.
In real time.
Come on now.
In real time. Without even a thought, without a question of like,
come on, man.
Nothing. So y'all can have this. I'm not finna sit here and debate this back and forth. He went in unwarranted over just a slight comment. She wasn't rolling. She said thank you.
Didn't bat an eye. Didn't waste any time.
All hail Taye. Like, I'm sorry. I just think y'all are asking for a lot.
Slow your roll, darling.
DJ Sean, can we have a song selection?
I don't even have a song. Well, listen, the Fantasia song applies because it's for Cisco. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Because if you're going to sun me like that, don't talk to me. Like, just let it be. It's like, I just feel like he's did too much.
I still think she said the cute thing, but still.
And Sean, he didn't, because I just let her know, move on. You know what I'm saying? Let Chenise know I need to move the hell on. So he did just enough. That's what I'm saying. Y'all be scared to hear people talk. Y'all be wanting conversations and people to talk to you and stuff like that. But when they talk, y'all get mad. you know what I'm saying, talk. That let me know how to move.
I just need to watch it one more time because that was ruthless, bro.
Man, brutal.
What Taye look like?
Taye's cute.
Okay.
No, she's beautiful.
Cisco emphasizing Taye.
Hey, that smile and that head nod to the brother, like, nah, bruh, you need to see her.
Nah, bruh. You need to see her too. You gonna say the same thing I'm saying?
You need to see her too.
Did you see how she looked at him though? Did you see how she looked at him? Like, oh no, you didn't.
She said, "Let me pack my prayers up. I'm gonna pack
Right.
my prayers up." You know that thing is like in that moment she knew. In that moment she knew it was. That's why he did all that crying, but she didn't, because in that moment she knew it's a wrap up. I'm the next meetup. I'm finna go home, because in that moment she was like, "Oh."
That was truly the first time I've heard someone say, when they were told they were not ready for love, that they were okay. She was truly okay, because she already was done with this whole situation with him.
Oh yeah,
So,
she was done with him. You're right. You're right,
insane.
Black. She was done with him at that table. She's like, okay, run along with Taye. And then when Kojo gets it, you know, he gets what he deserves with Taye. Let's just put it that way.
And you know how much of an ego check that has to be, that I done showed you all my goodies, and you gonna sit in here and still tell me?
Jay, and he wrote his name on her goodies.
Oh, you want to play cute? I'm gonna show you cute.
Yeah, that's
You
tough
use your
though.
naked body.
That's tough. That's tough. She showed all that body and still, wow. Yeah.
He wrote his name, Black, on the goodies.
On the goodies.
That's to let you
Head
know,
up.
don't be impressed by these IG models on here showing everything. That don't mean nothing.
I try to tell you guys that, man. I really do. Don't mean a thing.
Yes, we know, Jess. We know. It be like
Man.
that sometimes, though.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
Well, they did obviously. I guess I'll forward it to the end because they did. She did obviously exit.
And respect
So
for me.
So I hold back these tears, man.
You okay?
Yeah, I'll be all right.
It's okay.
I was becoming emotional because it felt like I didn't protect her, but then I also was under.
I mean, the brother was emotional, man. Let's give him a bit of grace. He was emotional, man.
No.
Really? He was emotional because he ain't gonna never be able to see that body again.
No.
Yada. He's sad. The brother felt like he's lost the real connection.
Where's the tears?
He's
Kojo?
losing emotional labor. That's what he's missing. He's missing that emotional labor and those prayers that he's going to be missing out for, because Taye's probably going to give him hell.
Where
I'm
were
talking
the tears?
about
Where were the tears, Kojo? Where's the waterworks?
the performance.
He was emotional for the fact that he knows he's gonna have to fight for Taye's love, like he said in the men's lounge. Every night I got to fight. This is the cry before battle.
I mean, he's double fisted, rubbing his eyes, and nothing's coming out. So that's why I call them crocodile tears. They're fake tears. So yeah, man, I don't get that at all.
Y'all didn't give him enough patience, man. Them tears is coming. Just give him a little bit of time. Dang. Everybody ain't got that Denzel tear all the time.
You got to work on that.
And he was right. He did not protect Chenise. If he's talking about it, he did not protect her at that table when he was talking about Taye and checking her in that moment. So no, he didn't protect her at all. So he knows his shortcomings. And I'm sorry, I am not comforting you when you're the one tossing me out and telling me I needs to go home. Chenise is better than me. It's like, take my mic off. Thank you. Have a great day. And, call Taye, but oh no, she's probably busy talking to Khalil. Have a good day.
That's a ploy to keep the door open just in case things don't work out with Taye. You know what I'm saying? I can still know I can cry on your shoulder later on. That's all I need to know, is if I can come with real tears later. If you take these fake tears now, I might have real tears later. Hold on to that.
I definitely hear you guys. Don't worry about it. I definitely hear it. I'm not going to argue on that. All right. So obviously, then he gets to have a date with, with Taye. Khalil. And he said that he noticed her body language shift. Poor man. I feel for him, man. It's not nice to see.
Like you don't gotta yell at me. Like
What is something that would probably make you pull away from a relationship?
Like if I'm saying something to someone and I feel as though I'm not being heard.
Okay.
If you're acting weird to me, like and very distant to me.
Okay. So I want to get your thoughts. Taye, Khalil, Cisco. What's your thoughts on this, man? Did you know? It seems like he noticed that she might be leaning towards him more. Based on the conversation, did you feel that way too, or is it something completely different for you guys?
Listen, as a woman who has to work the room once or twice in her life, it's not easy keeping balance between love interests. Okay, you know that. You try to give the eye contact to who asked the question. Khalil was asking a lot more questions that we seen, you know. He might have the more thought-provoking questions. I'm not really sure. However, I think she did her best, though she did look at Khalil a lot. You know, I just got to make sure that Khalil, he knows that I'm not totally locked in with Cisco. Everybody knows that Cisco has been on my top for a bit, but I need you to know I'm not totally locked in. I can sway either way. So keep in the fight, my brother. She did a very good job of keeping them in the fight. Now, Cisco's still fighting. I don't know what the heck for. But me personally, I would have turned to Khalil myself. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. My own personal reasons. But, I think she did a very good job. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Team Taye on this. She tried to keep it as neutral as possible. She might have needed to shift her chair more in the middle of the table instead of directly across from Cisco, because that did make her have to look at Khalil a little bit more. Maybe if she just been focused in the center, it had made the conversation just a little bit more balanced for her. So that's my advice for her going forward. Next time she get into one of these positions, just center herself,
Jay, do you think maybe she was also trying to let Cisco know that I'm not completely locked in? You still got to put in some more effort?
Yes, that too. You know what I'm saying? I need you to fight for this love.
Because it's like, you ain't a shoe-in, you ain't got a key to the place. There's competition out here. And I will say, Khalil is mighty popular since the ladies learned of his talents. The last game that they had, I was like, Khalil, you have just let the ladies know what you will do for love. And you just all of a sudden Mr. Popular on all these dates. I'm sorry. It was just interesting. But yes, he was asking all the proper questions. He seemed more invested in getting, to know her on a deeper level. While I don't know with Cisco, it's like he just wants to win, or maybe he thinks he's won and he doesn't feel like he needs to do too much, which that is how people lose the game. So again, Khalil, definitely has options, I will say.
Well, I've got a song rendition. And the song is Torn by LaToya Luckett. Torn in between the two, because I really want to be with you. Part of me wants to leave you alone, but part of me is telling you that that's never mind. We got the gist of the message. She's torn. So she's torn between Khalil and she's torn between Cisco. And she's leaning in more towards Khalil right now because she's starting to do some mental evaluation. She's doing that inventory and she's remembering the instability that comes with Cisco. So I think she's leaning in to the stability of Khalil. And, listen, Cisco just, demolished Chenise, sent her to smithereens at her date. And Taye ain't even got nobody here for him to meet. And he had to share the date. He didn't have to share Chenise, but he got to share Taye. So I think Cisco, he's going out sad right now, and it's not looking good for him.
I don't know if Lex is gonna go, but do we buy Taye's excuses on why her exes didn't show up? She like they in relationships now, and I just want to know, do y'all buy it?
She couldn't even find the one from college, I guess.
He in a relationship too, El said.
Oh, nobody could send a note. Nobody could send a hall pass. I mean, come on now. We had video chats the last time, one of the seasons. I think it was DC. I mean, come on now, Taye. The ladies of Philly have certainly come up with plausible excuses for the absence of these exes, and production has let it slide. I'm just saying, Philly is showing us a whole bunch of stuff.
Hey, listen, I get it. Go for it, Black. Oh, we can't hear you, Black. You done took your mic.
Remember, they all cheated on her as well. That's what she said on the first, or the second episode when we met her and Cisco.
I thought that was Rose. Okay.
Taye also said it. That's when she talked to Cisco on the couch, but I was like, maybe Cisco heard, oh, she forgives cheaters, and that's why I need to hang on to her. But I digress.
Okay. Yeah, I think people were saying they thought it was Rose who said it. I don't know. Maybe she did say it, so I'm not sure 100%. But if she did, maybe something to look up into. You know what I mean?
That's also probably a reason why they don't want to come to the thing or
Show
whatever.
up.
They be like, I might cheat on I might cheat again with you.
Hey, no one's there. Gotta be careful, You come out there, you're gonna move mad. So, I totally understand it. I get you. I don't know if Black can talk. If not, Black,
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Here we go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just saying it's a red flag to me that they couldn't find anyone to come to support them to say you're a good person or whatever. I mean, if you're in a relationship, I get the reason why you wouldn't want to be there, and that's really a good excuse. But at the same time, somebody could have come to speak on your behalf. So to me, that would be a no-go. I just can't move forward past that, to be honest with you.
I hear you on that. I mean, listen, hey, to be fair, I think when it comes to the relationship aspect, I can understand why sometimes the ex doesn't show up. I can see why it can be a red flag too. But I also agree that maybe sometimes you just can't find an ex that's suitable to come onto these shows. Rather lessen your chance of being embarrassed and come with nobody else and just be on there by yourself. But I also understand what you guys are saying. It can be a red flag in that instant as well. But it looks like Taye's probably finally learned, and she's moving away from Cisco now. She's leaving that man alone to go to a different person, which I think is probably smart. Yes, Jay, go for it.
And this is just not really with Taye or whatever, it's just with OWN. I think they just need to cut the ex part out of it, like altogether. Like, we can deal with the friends, we can deal with the family and stuff like that, because those people are currently knowing the person now and probably have seen the people evolve into who they are today. But the exes they only know that person from then, you know what I'm saying? And it depends on, like, we going how far back we going or whatever and stuff like that. What was the breakup? How the breakup happened? It's too many variables in that. And not a lot of us have solid exes that we can really rely on that want to do this, or not in a relationship that be compromised by coming on here and saying anything or digging up old feelings or anything like that. So it's just like, I think they should just drop this part of it altogether, like, seriously, and just probably just deal with friends and family only on both sides.
I'm with you on that. I'll rock with it. Okay, let's go to. Let's got any other thoughts on them? Let's go to obviously, Rose and Cam situation, the perfect ex-girlfriend that ever lived. Let's have a look.
Meet the ex date. I felt like he sold us a great brand new car. Everything was just too good to be true. That just told me that I just need to do a little more exploring with her.
Okay. So the perfect ex situation with Rose. I want to get yourself a situation. What's your thoughts on this, man? Like, How are you seeing this, guys? Because you know, the ex was like saying she's pretty much perfect. She's amazing. She's wonderful. You buy it? Go for yourself.
Lies, lies, lies. I'm sorry. We saw her almost flip the table on Fritz. Did he not see that side? Or did he know not to tell that side? We have seen the thorns that Rose has. It's great to say she's great, she's wonderful, but there has to be a challenge. If you don't have to dog somebody out, you don't have to be negative, but at least be realistic. Hey, we have some challenges with communication. Our relationship ended because we fizzled out, grew apart, something. But we saw, her thorns when she talked about the surrogacy with Fritz. So we don't buy what he's selling. And I'm glad that Hussein and Cam didn't buy it. But Cam was an issue in this one. So yeah.
Hey, why does X is like a dad that just be trying to pawn their child off to somebody? They just be trying to sell it or whatever. I be feeling like that. Like I had a coworker that came and I was just like, the last job must have just spoke him up to just get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a problem. That's what the ex is like. Please take my problem. Please. She's great. Enjoy her. I did. Like what? Why are we talking like this? I need some real information, sir. Like they said, I get it. Everything is not always roses. Can I get some real depth on why we here? Because if she's such a great person, why aren't you with her still? That's the thing. Like, why aren't you still with her? So yeah, there is something. Like I said, I don't agree with Cam trying to find dirt on her or whatever and stuff like that. But I also don't believe in bringing an ex that just has all these pageant answers for everybody either. Like, come on, I'll be looking at my ex like, for real. Let's be for real right now. Because why are you acting like this? We've had real conversations. Like, tell them the real stuff. Like, if you don't, I am. So like, one of us got to be real.
Sean, you had. Okay, I'll go. All right, so yeah, I'm one of those believers, man, that it could have been possible. He could have had a really good experience with her. I'm not saying that's for everybody she interacts with, just for him. Maybe he was the type of guy who went along to get along. We don't know, right? But I'm saying stuff like she made too much. Somebody put in the comments as well, she made too much soup for me when I was sick. And that's your biggest complaint, bro? And you telling me communication is going to be the reason why the relationship doesn't work? No, I'm going to work on that. If my woman is that good to me, I'm going to work on that communication. What do I need to do to make sure this works, this gets right? So if I'm just saying that, to me, it did seem like it's a little shocking, to be honest with you, because someone can find something, another reason or something, some kind of quirk or something that their partner had that rubs you the wrong way. He didn't even have that. And to go to soup is crazy to me. It's just next level. So I don't know. I agree that it can happen, but in this situation, I think he was trying too hard to prove that nothing was happening. Also, the conversation that he had about the ex had about Rose being a very religious person. And when it was asked, when it was asked to Cam, would he go to church every Sunday, start going to church on Sundays? Cam said, nah, I don't really think I can do that. And Rose was like, oh, okay, that's all right. That's fine. No, it's not. That should be one thing that should be a deal breaker, is your spiritual beliefs and your religious belief needs to be aligned to move forward. I'm just a believer of that. So if you have a man that doesn't believe what you believe and doesn't believe in building that relationship, then that should not be your target if you're feeling strongly in the opposite direction. That's what I thought.
Sean, you there? If you're not, I'm gonna say something.
You could go ahead. I'm finishing up my my Uber Eats order.
Never fails. But now that Black says something, I remember how I felt when I heard him speak or whatever and stuff like that. When he said when I was sick, she was always there. She was always asking me something. He basically was saying in a very polite, respectful way, stage 5 clinger. That's what I heard. She's too suffocating. I don't know if y'all heard it that way, but that's what I heard. It's just like, bruh, back up off me. I don't need anything. Like, let me just be. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that could be the reason why they not together, and he's just really polite and respectful of it all and just don't want to say it just all out. But I just was hearing like, she's just too much. She's just all over me. I don't get no chill time to myself with her. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not for everybody. You got to find a partner that's okay with that. You know, some of us just like to have our me time, and some people, they like to be up under each other. And if you find a partner that's like that, and y'all go off into the sunset together, and congratulations, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I get what brother was saying. I heard what he said. It was just too much. It's like, let me be. Like, if I'm sick, just let me be. I don't need nothing. Don't stop asking me. I'm sick. Stop bothering me right now. Just give me some time. Leave me alone.
You know, I can see that, Jay. I can see that, or she's forcing her will upon him, like what she wants to have done. She wants to have done. Like he's saying, "Okay, I have enough soup. I'm good. I don't want any more soup." No, you gonna eat this soup. You know, it's
Maybe
like one of those situations.
Maybe the soup was just bad. Maybe you're also saying ain't a good cook.
Oh.
Okay, that was a bit much, but possibly.
That turned left. Yeah, I was more in line with what Jay said. I think that it's like it was one of those scenarios where you just have to read between the lines. And I think that the ex that she brought, maybe she chose him for a reason, because he might be like that Mr. Nice guy. He doesn't want to say anything, too harsh, overly critical. He knows this is on TV. It's not like they broke up over something crazy, but he's tiptoeing around it. So, but you can read through that. She probably does too much. That to me sounds like you just do too much. You just can't, you don't know when to, you don't know when to relax. You want to throw this soup on me, and it's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Just leave me alone. And maybe she's somebody that over mothers. That could be it too. So that's just what I took away. I didn't feel like it was something where we have to go on a fact-finding mission to find a red flag because the guy didn't say any, the worst thing. I think that is also kind of catastrophizing. Like, you have to find something. Sometimes people's relationships just ended because they just didn't work out. And the person, they just weren't, they didn't match up together. It's not always some big glaring red flag. It's just, hey, the two people just couldn't get on the same page.
I mean, I think there's some red flags there, mate. But I hear what you're saying too, Sean. I'm not gonna disagree with you at all, to be honest. I can see what you're saying as well. I think when I say red flags, what I really mean by that is to say, like, if someone presents perfection, just expect there's gonna be some madness behind it. You know what I mean? And I think I love what you kind of said as well, not yourself, Sean, but what Jay and Black will come into, which is that if someone says I'm good and she's over mothering, well, that actually also can be a case of you not believing that they have boundaries. And number two, you also trying to be of value by over serving, and you can't get your value anywhere else apart from serving the person. So when they have no need of you, you're forcing the need so that you can be of value. And that's on her. Now, what she did say, which was really powerful actually, was that her only problem is that she's over caring. No, was it over caring or something like that? She said that was her thing. I wrote it down. She said something about caring too much or something. Let me see. She said, okay, no. He said caring too much. She's the most understanding, open-minded person. And I said, yeah, that's why you be dating these people that be cheating on your ass. Because you overstand and you give way too much grace to people, and that actually can be a bad thing. You trying to understand every single thing that somebody try to do when you just need to go get away, it's problematic. You know what I mean? Like, you need to have better boundaries. How do I trust you even in a relationship? You care so much. How do I trust you in a relationship? You're gonna be caring so much, you're gonna put yourself in predicaments and precarious positions. I'm sorry. I can't do it. But she's not a bad person. She's not mean. I don't think she's nasty per se. She's got a bit of a temper because she lets things build up, I think. I think she lets things build up and then becomes resentful. And probably that's where we saw the anger that can come up, that she has those boundaries. But other than that, I think she's pretty cool. But she needs to look at that. You're not as great as you think you are because you're just so accommodating and understanding. That's actually a negative. You know what I mean? Someone said that you can't be caring. It's good to be caring. Just have boundaries with it. You know what I mean?
It's so I'll put it like this. Like, I hear what you're saying, Felicia. Like, you can't be too caring. Like, it's not that you can't care. I said how my daughter's grandmother told me one time. You can care, but you need to stop showing the person you care so much. Because that sometimes helps them take advantage of you, run over you, like in her case, cheat on you and you forgive them and all this stuff like that. Like, sometimes we show too much. We show our hand too much and stuff like that. Sometimes you got to have a little Sahara and you got to have a little wall up. You got to be hard just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a balance to it all. She's on the opposite spectrum of Sahara. That's why Cam is in the predicament of the two. Because he has two literally opposite people he's attracted to. Or whatever. One is real soft, too, caring and all this stuff, and the other one is hard and all that. It's the balance in the middle of the two, and you got to learn how to find your balance for yourself. And I don't think she has that. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, the other thing to it, too, is when a person is telling you, I'm good and stuff like that, sometimes you need to learn how to read the room. Sometimes you got to learn how to leave people alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing too much that makes them resent you. Like, just stop. Respect their boundaries, because right now when they're saying, I don't want anything else, and you're steady trying to give them more, you're not respecting their boundaries. So you're ultimately pushing them people away. And if they protect their boundaries a lot. So there's a lot with her that, you know, Cam is overlooking, trying to find the dirt that is sitting right there in his face. You ain't got to find no dirt. It's all right there. She's saying it. Her ex is saying it. It's right there. Like, she does too much and not enough for herself.
So I got a song, like you said in the chat, Jay. You like to hear it? Here it goes. Here it goes. This one is a current hit. Came out last summer by Summer Walker. The only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. I think that's Rose's anthem, and that's where she gets into herself into trouble. You know, because she wanna be saving the men. You know, she wanna just put it up. You know, and take care of them, and do too much. Just like, Corey, you mentioned it too, when she's been talking this whole season about how important a relationship with God is. Cam is adamant about not even stepping foot into a church, and she's saying, "Oh, that's okay." I don't get it. Like, she gotta, that heart is beautiful. I think that's one of the best things about women, is that nurturing, that caring. But when it's not harnessed, when it's not, when there's no boundaries, when you are not putting yourself first, you can't, you can't save nobody else.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I think that a little adjusting in relationships is okay, but the things that matter to you the most, you shouldn't budge on. And religion being a big issue, a big topic for her, I don't think she should have budged in that area. And I think that's somewhat, I don't know yet, we'll find out, but I think that somewhat could have turned Cam off. Because a woman is easily moved about something that she's passionate about, and I'm having you go in a completely different opposite direction, and you're saying you're okay with that, something about that does not seem right to me. So I agree.
Well, Sean,
Wow.
I got a song
Go for
real
it.
quick for Sean. This is for her. Is a kiss of wisdom. He don't want to be saved. Okay, you can't save all these hoes. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And Cam's one right now. Okay, you can't save him, sis. Let him be. If he don't want to choose God, he has to choose God for himself. That's a relationship he got to have for himself. And if that's not what he want right now, and that's where you are, you need to move on. That's not your man, sis. You know, we can only do so much to try to bring people to God, but that at some point they gotta walk. They gotta walk them steps to Him themselves.
Listen, I hear it. She should not be having. She should not be saying that church is not important to her. If it is important to her, you know what I'm saying? She'd like, darling, go to church. You want to go to church, but find you a man that's gonna want to go to church with you. You know what I mean? So yeah, just saying, like, don't settle for less. That's what I mean by this. This is the red flags we're talking about. Don't settle for less, and then you won't be disappointed when you get that person. They're not turn out to be who you thought they should be, rather than who they actually are. You know what I mean? So that's a build a bear boo kind of mindset, kind of not the same, but it's kind of like, you know, you're too open, you know. But okay, cool. Let's move to the next one. You know, because there was another situation. Let's move to, you know, I think the last couple, which is obviously the situation between Naim, Diona, and Khalil. Okay, Diona says she's gonna come out with them cheeks.
Sorry.
I didn't see that. It's a little different. I got front end. I didn't walk around. Here's the cheeks. Here's the cheeks.
All they can talk about is them cheeks, baby girl. I want to get your thighs thoughts. Not about the cheeks. About
hear your thighs thoughts.
That is terrible, Jay. That is terrible.
Okay, I'm not giving no thoughts yet. You can ask these people what they want to do right now. I just need to know, D sis, tell me where you got them pants though. I know everybody else is hating on them pants, but low key, I like my cheeks out. So I need where you got them pants, sis, real quick.
Oh no.
Oh yes, please.
I mean, they were nice, I guess. I can't lie to you. But what's your guys' thoughts? She didn't have an ex either. So what's your guys' thoughts? She didn't bring her ex either, so that the current situation is a problem. So what's your guys' thoughts? I want to know.
She brought a good distraction. I mean, did they notice too much about the ex not being there? Again, she is definitely out here, you know, how can I say it? Presenting herself well. I'll say it that way. Presenting herself well. Too much? Yes. It's going to be too much for some. She looked wonderful in it. Yeah, sure. You could find it. Jay, I agree with you. Them pants look great. I won't personally wear it, but she definitely filled them out very well. And the gentleman complimented her, and because they noticed. And I'm like, Diona, now we know what we heard about Khalil, and you let him walk all the way around to check you out. Come on now, please. But the ex not being there, again, it's a fail of the assignment. And I wonder if none of them even wanted to come. I wish Owen would tell us that we have reached out and none of them wanted to come to the show. It would tell us a whole lot. But it was a very superficial. I did not feel like she opened up the way Sahara opened up without her ex being there. I don't think she explained it and opened up the way Angie talked to Cam without her ex being there. I just felt like it was just a superficial date and conversation, and it could have been edited out, in my opinion. Apart from she looked good.
These comments is killing me. Her it was just the top of her cheeks that was out, y'all. And her full cheeks was not on the chair. Please. Y'all taking me out. Keep it up though. I'm loving it.
All right, I guess I'll jump in here. Yeah, it lacked taste to me. I can't even lie. It lacked taste. Like, you have men that are interested in you, trying to see if they're going to be in a relationship with you, like a serious relationship. That's how you present yourself. So I get that if you're single, you can do what you want to do, you know, dress how you want to dress, be you. But if you're trying to lock down a deal with a guy, you want him to take you seriously, that's not the way to do it. You know, you may say, okay, I'm free to wear what I want to wear. Okay, cool, that's fine. But understand you're going to get the type of energy that you're going to get. You know, they sit at a table making jokes about it. And then when you walk away, they're making jokes about it. You know what I'm saying? They give you all these compliments. It's like, if you're the type of woman that's fishing for compliments consistently, that's a turnoff to a man who's going to be serious about a relationship, who wants to be committed, you know, which is what the show is supposed to be about. But you come out dressing like that, it's like you just want attention. And I've gotten that from Dion since the start of the show, that she's starving for attention. And the whole thing about exes not coming, again, I still feel the same way I feel about it, that, you know, her ex not showing up or can't find ex to show up. I've seen signs of Dion's attitude. I've seen how she talks to men, how she feels about Cam, and it just makes sense to me that no one's going to come by her side. But is she a pretty woman? Is she a nice body? Yeah, that's fine. But at the same time, if I'm going to be in a relationship with someone, I need to know someone who can turn it on and turn it off at any given time, not always be on. So for me, it's a no, boss.
All right, I'm gonna be serious now. Okay, we off of those cheeks. She has started this thing off saying she don't have no ex to bring because all of it has been toxic. That's a red flag, babes. Like, why are all your endings is toxic? Like, even if y'all don't speak no more, why are they ending all toxic? So that would be my question, is like how we get to why we can't even have a good, not even a good conversation, but just have a conversation with my ex. Like, what are you dating? Who are you dating? How are you dating? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot that's going on there too, but we already seen how she show up a little bit with some of the other men like Hussein and stuff like that, how she come off where she seems like she's a good communicator and all these things. And then that was my other point too, is like, you got at Hussein like about communication and all this stuff like that, but here you are telling us right now in this moment that without communication you would cut a man off without telling him he has done something wrong or anything like that. 3 strikes, he's out. But you will let him do the thing 3 times without him even knowing of this thing that he has done wrong to you, and you'll just cut him off without communication. But Hussein has a bad communication style. All right. Okay, sis. Like, we got to work on ourselves before we start telling other people what they need to work on and all this stuff like that. Like, that's the whole problem. Like, if you're actually serious about somebody, like Black said about the last situation with Rose, if all she's doing wrong is being like overbearing or whatever stuff like that, we could talk about that. So if all a person is just doing something wrong just a little bit, that you give them 3 chances to be able to do that same thing, you should be able to at least talk about it 1 time out of those 3. The first time, you don't have to nag about it. Like, you like, all right, you know, you did that thing. I would suggest you highlight it that first time so you can nip it in the bud right then and there. But by the time the second time come around, it's like, all right, you know, you did this the first time. The second time come around, hey, listen, I didn't really like that too much. Can you not do that? Now, since you waited, I'm going to just say that since you waited the second time to tell somebody what it is, you might want to give them a 4th time to correct it. You know what I'm saying? Because that first time they're going to make the mistake, because usually that might be just a habit they is. But if they care about you, by that 4th time, they're going to sit there and do what they need to do to change it. But like C. Perk said, she did say that too. She's a runner. She's a track star. So we also had that problem too. So the song for Maneaters might need to go to her instead of Angie, because she sounds like she just in it for a quick mission and then up and out. So I don't know. It's a lot going on with sis.
Yeah. Jay, I'm pulling a U. I keep hitting the
You
I
see,
keep
I just
hitting the
said it in
wrong
the
button,
private chat.
kicking myself out. Jay, I like that song. I think you're right, but I got a better song for D. And it just embodies her in so many ways. And it's Eve, and it's What Y'all Want. And the line is, you done snatched up the illest pit bull in a skirt. And Eve is from Philly. So I just feel like that encapsulates Dee's persona. You know, She's a rough rider chick. That is who she is. That's just that's how she maneuvers things. She's like, listen, you 3 strikes, you out, and you don't even know you got the strikes. That's when somebody is just a silent assassin moving in the night. You pissing them off, they taking notes, boom, you do that third thing and you're out. And I think that's something that she has to work on. Although she didn't have an ex-president, I think she was honest. So I got to give her credits for the honesty on that part. But I don't think she's ready. I think what's so funny is if we reflect back to the beginning of the season when her and Cam, didn't hit it off, and rightfully so, because I think they're both very similar because they both use that same word of nitpicking people. Cam does it, and so does she. And I think those are folks that kind of just look at other people's flaws before reflecting inward and just look for ways to eliminate people so that they can keep people at bay. And I think that's her persona.
I hear you though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hear you though. Any last thoughts on the Diona, Khalil, Naim situation? I think. Let me see if I've missed anybody. I think that's all
Angie
the
and Cam state.
Angie and Cam. Okay. I think that's the last one, right? Angie and Cam. Okay, Angie and Cam. Well, yes. Let me see if I can get a clip for you guys. Although he didn't meet any of her exes, but she said, you're right, you're good. Let's see this. Let me get you a clip. Wait, there we go. All righty.
You're gonna be saying that so anyway.
I like the confidence though. I like it though.
So going into this date, Cam and I just started this connection at the block party.
You should have.
You should have
been in my face earlier.
There seems to be some type of connection between the two of them, and it does seem like she feels him on a physical level, but I think she's emotionally not connected to him in that way. Then again, will she be allowing a man to lead? Who knows? But I want to get you guys' thoughts on this situation because Cam obviously felt a little bit slighted. He communicated quite calmly. He let her know, listen, hey, I felt a little bit of a weight in terms of not being able to meet anybody from your past. So, but someone else did. How do you guys feel about this situation with Cam and Angie?
I'm not gonna be long with it. I do feel like it's a physical connection, but like you said, not emotional, and that's possibly why she didn't decide to bring her child's father around to him or whatever and stuff like that. It's always reverting back to some type of physical situation when they have their conversations or whatnot. And I know Cam is a little bit bothered by it. He makes comment on it like, I don't always want to talk about the physical and all this stuff like that, but that's just not always on her. Like, sir, you have to bring something else that gives her something else to talk about as well. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard. Like if I only see like a certain aspect on you, yeah, it's only hard when I don't have no other substance to go on. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to revert that conversation back to, okay, I know it's just physical right now, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Find out some of her interests and all that stuff. That'll help draw her into a more emotional conversation. But if you just play into her physical all the time and you allow her to play into yours, of course, it's just going to be that. And I'm going to say it again. It's like, if I haven't built an emotional connection with you or whatever and stuff, like, I don't feel like I need to introduce you to my child's father. I'm not there with you. I don't view you as long-term right now. And yes, Cam can feel some type of way like that about it. But again, this is something new. Like she said, we just made a connection at the freaking, what was that thing called where they was all outside? I forgot the block party. The block party. Y'all just made a connection just then. This ain't something that's been going on from jump or whatever. So right now it is just a physical attraction that I have for you. don't be mad. I wish she would have kind of spoke up a little bit more and explained more where she was coming from with that, why he didn't get to meet it, instead of just caving in and saying, I'm sorry, you know, that I know it's this and stuff like that. I would have just been told him, like, straight up, we just started talking. I just need more of a connection with you. I understand you might feel some type of way, but me and Hussein have been talking for a while. I do feel a little bit more deeper with him about this situation and stuff like that. So that's why I felt that way. Or like you said earlier, if production had a hand in it, or if BD couldn't make it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was edited out or whatever the case may be, and they just running with the storyline of it all. But I wish she would have spoke up just a little bit more instead of just caving in and saying, I'm sorry, you know, that wasn't fair or whatever and stuff like that. Because if I don't feel comfortable both introducing you to somebody that's in my life pretty much forever, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not about to be forced into doing it and stuff like that. Like, I have a whole daughter. Like, if I don't see you as long-term, there's no need for me to introduce you to my daughter. So that's something that you may have to work on. We need to get there. And that's a simple explanation. When we get there, I have no problem introducing you to that person. But in this segment, in this setting, you just haven't earned that right now. Respect that. Fall back. You know? And I was kind of mad at Cam for just being so, like, mad about it. Like, bro, like, you just not there yet. Why do you feel like you should be there when she obviously don't see you that way? Do you even see her that way? You're torn between Rose, her, and somebody else. Like, so you got your options too. So I don't know, but to be honest, between these two, I don't really see it for neither one of them outside of just hooking up. At least right now, they haven't given me nothing of no depth or substance or anything like that. And again, this is another lady with a child that you have not, and Cam has not dated women with children. So I know it's not his fault for being in this position with most of these women having kids, but you're pursuing all the women with children. It's kind of weird.
I agree with you, Jay, because as you know, the second episode, Cam did say he did tell Rose he hadn't dated anyone with children. So she could have said that. I mean, Angie didn't communicate with the first date when her ex was there, and she certainly didn't communicate ahead of time with Cam now. If she told him, hey, exactly what you said, Jay, I'm not comfortable quite yet. We're not at that level quite yet, but it can happen. It would certainly have kind of soothed him a little bit more. But I wonder if, as you said, production could, you know, put this in, you know, for a little bit of spice. But I wonder, is Cam the type of man that's going to keep score? Is he going to hold on to this? Is he going to think of this as a slight, and then it would build up on slights because, you know, you also gave a gift to Hussein for his, you know, about his son. You know, is he going to keep score? We don't know. And I hope he does not. But again, when the conversation got a little deep, it went all the way to physical. It went all the way to innuendo. And it's like, we're trying to get deep. We're trying to get past this or move further. And now we're going back to the innuendo. It's like, what are we here for? Ready to love or ready to smash?
You know, if your ex is so important to you that you feel like I can't meet him, if you have him that high on a pedestal where you're saying, I don't think you're ready to meet my ex, keep your ex. I'm good. I'm done. And I'm out the door. Because why is that a thing? I mean, I could see if it was her kids or something like that, but her ex, if you're that close to your ex, that's an uncomfortable situation I don't want to be in the first place. So keep the ex. Keep that friendship or whatever you got going on, because it's not something I want to be entangled in. Now, I did notice a switch, right? The first time they met, Cam was like, hey, I'm not on that type of time. I need something that is going to be, I think something that's going to be a little bit more than just conversations about intimacy, you know? And the thing is that with that conversation, once Cam realized that he was played in a sense of not being able to meet her ex, he came back with a different energy. If you notice, he was more flirty now. He had the mindset of, okay, this is what you're asking for. This is what you want. I'm going to give you what you want. But in his mind, I think that he's going to play this role until it's time to deliberate again for the men. And then Angie's going to be a target. I think he wants to get out of the next round because, the ladies going to have to vote next round. And I think the next round after that, that's when he's going to target Angie, because I don't think he has an attraction to her anymore because of the fact that she didn't think he was worthy enough to meet her ex. I don't understand why both Hussein and Cam could have met at the same time like the other, other couples did. What was the issue with that? So if you don't think someone is worthy, then why even show you have interest in him on the show? Because I think that's what she's doing. She's playing the game to make sure she's not eliminated. If I get two of these guys, Hussein and Cam, to both like me, then I'm pretty much gonna be safe with the amount of guys that's left on the show. So I think she's playing the game, but I think Cam's gonna play the game against her as well. Just my thought.
Yeah, I kind of, I guess I'm leaning more towards, like, my thoughts were similar to what Jay shared. Is like, I think she should have just stood on business in terms of what her initial thought was, why she didn't feel like he was ready to, they have a new connection, and that's not only her ex, it's her child's father. I think that she just was a little reluctant to didn't feel like they were there yet. Maybe she could have clarified. I think as we continue to grow our connection, that's definitely something that can happen down the line. But I think right now, let's continue to get to know each other. If you have questions, I'm more than able to answer those for you. Like, I just think in she should have just been transparent with him in terms of why she chose that in that way. And I just think he just was a little too reactive. Or maybe not reactive, but I think he took it personally when there's no need to really take it personally. In my opinion. So that's what I think.
I think he took it personally, Sean, because he's been in the game as long as Hassan has been in the game, right? Everybody here barely knows each other. Okay, she may be feeling this Hassan a little bit more, that's true, but the time spent or the time of knowing each other is the same. And okay, what's so special about Hassan if he can meet your child's father but not me? And the child's father, I get the whole thing. If he didn't want to be on the show, he didn't have to be on the show. But he knew what he was signing up for, and she knew what she was signing up for by asking him to be on the show. So normal circumstances, yes, this is true. The parent of the child meeting them is a big deal. It's a big concern, big issue. But she chose him to come on the show to meet. She didn't have any other exes that she could have chosen. I would have been mad at Angie if she had picked a completely different ex for him to see, to be able to come and meet him. That would have been cool. But for her not to even try or not even have the ex not even have the availability to come down there to meet him, that's the thing that gets me. She had options, a different route that she could have taken, but she didn't. She chose not to take that route. She chose to choose her dad's father. Her kid's father. And doing that, that's why this whole thing feels the way that it feels. So I think it was some strategy in picking the guy who she picked, or she didn't have anyone else, one or the other.
Yeah. So here's a few things. Breaking the fourth wall. We've talked to a few cast members in the past, and sometimes they give a list. Some people on the list can't make it. Some people can. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how in-depth her list was. Maybe she only got 2 exes. I don't know. Again, if I just started talking to you, regardless of how long I've known of you, I don't know you. If I just started talking to you a day ago, opposed to somebody I've been talking to since I started this process. So yes, I'm going to give more leniency to that person. It's just the same way as we was looking at Cisco all crazy for him mentioning Taye, but he'd been talking to Taye since day one. He didn't start talking to Chenise till later on. And that's really because Chenise invited him out on a date. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even trying to check for Chenise. So it's like, all of a sudden I'm at the block party. Now you checking for me because you're trying to broaden your things. I still don't know you, bro. I don't know nothing of you and stuff like that. I'm getting to know you. So no, I might not feel comfortable in this moment of actually having you meet somebody that's serious in my life, because what that is telling the person that's serious in my life or anybody that I'm dating is I'm serious about you. So yes, right now I might be a little bit more serious about this other man, and you could take that how you want, but that man put that time in with me. You have not put that time in with me. So you're playing catch up. So when you catch up, I got you. And that's all she really needed to tell them, is just to verify, like, hey, when time presents itself and we're in that space, I got you. I don't have to hide nothing from you. But right now, I'm just not there. And she just should have stood on that type of business right there. Just let him know, let's just work on us a little bit longer and stuff like that and see how it goes. Because I'm not about to waste any of my people's time presenting you in my life just for you to be gone tomorrow. I'm not about to do it.
Yeah, I see. I just put it in the chat too, Jay. My bad. But I get that she has a better attraction to Hassan. I get that. But we're talking about introducing to your kid's dad. We're all saying that's a big deal, and we all can agree that's a big deal. But picking him as the reason for the person that you want to pick, even if it is a list that you can make, why would you put him on that list? So that's the question I have, because I can't see myself introducing my daughter to, or my daughter's mom to, someone I'm dating after it's only been a few months time. I don't care how close we've gotten in that length of time, still not ready. I'm sure other parents can agree that, you take your time when it comes to that. So, you're on a game show, and they have this part on here where you have to bring exes. Why would you choose to bring the mother or the father of your child?
Again,
That's just
I don't know how long her list is. It could be 2. It could be the
For sure,
one that passed away, because she was a long time with that one that passed away. She did say she spent a lot of time with that one before he passed away. And then the father, and I don't know how, I don't remember how old her kid is or whatever and stuff like that at this moment. So I don't know how long ago that was. She might only have the 2 that she still has contact with, or the one she still had contact. I don't know the ins and outs of that part. But all I can say is that I know that if I'm bringing you on the show, I'm going to potentially have somebody, regardless of how soon I know them and stuff like that. Like, I can get married to somebody tomorrow and we can spend a lifetime together. People do this stuff. But if I don't feel comfortable enough to introduce you to these people, I'm just not going to do it. Now, respectfully, because of the show, she should have. A lot of these women should have, but clearly this season they can do what the F they want. You know what I'm saying? But because she obviously had the option not to, here we are. But that's on that man, on how he take it and stuff. It's like, do you either step your game up and start working a little bit harder so you can be in that position to meet people that's important in her life? Or do you fall back? What do you do with this information? Because it's already there now. You didn't get to meet her. You didn't get to meet bro. You didn't get to meet her. So what you gonna do with it? Is you gonna fall back, or you gonna move forward with it and stuff like that? If it makes me get off this show, fine. It makes me get off this show. But guess what? I'm still talking to my potential when I go home, because we know they still do that too.
I would.
For sure.
This would have been easy for production to set up too. I mean, it is easy enough for production to make this happen, where Cam was not available because we know he's still doing his civil service job. He is unavailable, and we just set up the date with Hussein on the day that Cam is unavailable. And it just, this is good TV. We film it this way and see if he has a moment where he feels slighted. So even though, yes, Angie could have said, I really don't want Cam meeting him right now, it definitely is a good setup for production to have their hands in it too.
This is why the exes don't need to be there. See how much drama this is causing?
No, but for real, it's kind of crazy. I don't understand why they meet exes. It doesn't actually make sense. We don't meet exes in real life. I know they're probably just trying to do it for like show, but it's actually got boring now. Because who's really meeting exes? Just meet the friends. Bring enough carnage as it is. We don't need to meet exes. It's a waste of time. They should meet friends, and go from there. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I think they need to chuck it up for next if they're gonna do next season. Or since you guys are doing 3-month hiatus, you know what I mean? But I think you should chuck it. Doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And drama can be made through the friends. I don't understand why the drama has to come through the exes. And look, 2 or 3 people didn't even bring their exes, so there's even no drama. So you wasted your time. You know what I mean? You know, like, so for me personally, it's even wasted time. It's only Kiara who really brought an ex. Rose brought an ex, but he wasn't really engaged. Yeah, we got a little bit of the thing with the Cisco situation, but it's because Cisco decided to do what he was going to do. But really and truly, you normally get more carnage with the friends. But hey, who am I to say anything? You know what I mean? They're going to do what they're going to do. Any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just piggybacking on what you're saying, that they should get rid of the X. I've been saying it year after year when we do these panels. I've just never been a fan of the X thing because I know for me, I'm the type that's watching everything, all the kikis, all the ha-has, all the interactions. I'm reading heavy into everything. So X is just not the way to go. I'll let somebody else go now.
All right, I appreciate that. Well, I'm gonna get Sean to give us the good old, what's it called again?
The benediction.
The benediction, yeah, benediction. Hey, I feel you, bro. It leaves you sometimes.
Good old. And I don't know the word.
It has just been that long, huh?
Come on now.
And bro, I was gonna say something else. I was being wild. I missed the B and the E on the beginning of that word. So thank God.
Not you going back to Egypt, Kojo.
Bro, I was like, ooh, catch yourself.
I don't even know what the benediction is because this was a chaotic situation. You know, what I would say is, you know, I think we learned a few lessons. One of those are, you know, I think Rose, we spent a lot of time talking about that scenario, and it's, you know, just make sure the effort that you're putting in is the effort that that person wants, right? You know, just the same way we learned with love languages, we want to love people the way they want to love. Make sure your effort and the energy and the acts that you are putting in or contributing are things that people want and it's measured, and that you are considering yourself first. Then when we have Kiara, you know, you got to make better choices, you know, and if your past keeps coming back to haunt you, that means you need to fix it before you can move forward. So, you know, does everybody deserves love, but everybody's not ready for love. And I'll end it there.
That's right. No one's ready for that love. That's right, Sean. You tell them. Listen, audience, thank you so much. I know it's been a minute since we've been back. We're coming back slowly, man. You know what I'm saying? We're just doing a lot of work behind the scenes and some other stuff as well. So please do bear with us. But it's good to engage with my fellow castmates around here, you know, bring back them panels. So hopefully we'll be able to organize a few more as well. But we'll be back next Tuesday for next week's episode for Ready to Love as well. I know that Love is Blind UK starting on the 15th. So we'll start doing some lives around that as well.
13th.
So look out for that. 13th, sorry. Thank you. So you'll have you 2 days late. On the 13th, sorry. We'll have some conversations around that as well. So look out for them lives around that. And I think that's pretty much it. I know Married at First Sight starts not this month, next month, I think it does. Married at First Sight, the new season. So we'll be back to Thursday nights again. So I look forward to it. King's Court, I'm doing King's Court, but I'm doing that solo. I'm not necessarily doing it with anyone, but Married at First Sight back soon. So definitely Love is Blind. And if we find another good show, then yeah, definitely we'll bring that in as well. You know what I mean? So, all right, listen, audience, thank you so much. It's been an enthralling conversation. Oh, October. Okay, so we'll wait another 2 months then. So it's been an enthralling time. So Married at First Sight is October. Sorry, guys, gave you wrong information. October time. So taking you into Christmas, hopefully it's going to be some enjoyment with Married at First Sight. Hopefully you're going to have a good time. You know what I mean? But make sure you guys stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon. Much love, much appreciation.